Hello, you beautiful nerds. Welcome to the Drunk Banthas podcast, where we talk about sci-fi, fantasy, horror, and all the popular art that we love. Also, we do it drunk.
Mostly
drunk. Always encouraged, but never mandatory.
Drunk.
And always on CPT.
Mostly drunk.
Apparently.
Mostly drunk. Mostly drunk. Mostly on time.
Mostly on
drunk.
time.
Mostly on time.
Mostly
centered.
Yeah, we're doing everything mostly. Almost all right up in here. I am your host, Jedi Master Grayson, and as always, I'm with my co-host, brother Bill. How you doing?
You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? We all out here. What's up, you trash bags? You know what I'm saying? It's your brother's face, favorite cousin. You know what I'm talking about? I'm out here. Bam.
And in case you didn't know, I wasn't talking about this guy. This guy right here. That was my brother here. Donald Ferguson, though we do share a resemblance, we are not related. Donald Ferguson, what's up?
What up? Not much. Ready to talk about a lot tonight.
Yeah, there's a lot to go over for sure.
Some would say there's too much to talk about.
Too much.
Well, I think that'll be next.
Yes.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. But we do have a couple of shows that are going to be ending soon. So
how do we go from having nothing for 3 months to having everything else?
Yeah,
yes.
It went from
daylight savings time week too. Sucks.
Yeah, so ironically, we have less time to talk about all the crazy stuff that's going on. Yeah, in case you haven't noticed from the thumbnail, we are talking about Severance, we are talking about Invincible, we are talking about Righteous Gemstones, we are talking about Daredevil Born Again, and as always, we're talking shit. But before we get into the nitty gritty, I guess we should do a little bit of house cleaning.
Talking shit
always. I want to implore you to consider perusing.
Not employ, because we don't give out money.
Yeah. There's only so many employees we can afford here, which is none.
One of them has 4 legs.
Yeah, we pay Penny entirely too much money for her to be a dog. But yeah, I want to just suggest that you peruse through our merchandise store, where you can find hats, hoodies, shirts, mugs, and all kinds of cool stuff with our stupid name on it. You can just go down to the merchandise or store tab in the YouTube app. Honestly, it changes from phone to phone. I've heard several different things, but just go down to the place where you buy stuff in the YouTube tabs and support your boy.
Ooh,
but
my nipple.
Ooh, fun and educational. But I guess we should move on to our first topic. Oh, actually, you know what?
I'm sorry. No, that was don't answer it. Let that sit with the audience. Just let them marinate.
I don't know what that's supposed to be.
No, you're not supposed to say anything. Let them marinate.
Actually, before we get into our first,
if it doesn't marinate, you don't get better flavor.
Please tell him again.
Our resident chef of the podcast. But yeah, before we get into our first topic of the night, I guess we should talk about what's happening this Thursday.
Yes.
Every Thursday is a show called The Bantha Bunch, hosted by your favorite cousin, Bill.
Yeah.
Bill,
Me.
what are you guys going to be talking about this Thursday?
Yeah, man, we're going to be talking about what we've been talking about. That's Common Side Effects. If you've been watching, you know what time it is. Common Side Effects is on every Sunday.
Yeah.
And
so.
It comes out on HBO Max on Monday. So yeah, it's on Adult Swim on Sundays. Comes out on HBO Max or whatever the fuck you want to call it on Mondays. So I checked it out today, and then you should do so too, because it's fucking dope. Fucking amazing. So yeah, come on, baby. Come on over here and check us out on Thursdays, 8:15 p.m. Pacific time, and not on CPT time. We never been late for a Thursday show. We've never been more than 3 minutes late for a Thursday show.
It is a great show, both the Bantha Bunch and Common Side Effects. So you should check it out every Thursday at 8 p.m. Pacific time.
Our show is better than Common Side Effects. But yeah, you can see such people as 9 from 9 Nerd Yards, Terry from Terry T-Pins photos and pins, and NerdsAtNite. And sometimes you can even find this goofy bastard right here.
It's an open door policy.
Open door policy. One day you'll probably see Jeff. One day you'll probably see Blake. I think I have had Blake on. I don't know.
I think, yeah, he's definitely been on before.
So yeah,
I see.
You know, it's the tits and it's fun, and we have a lot of tits and fun. So come over and see the tits and have some fun.
See the tits and have some fun. That you should put that on a poster for the Bantha Bunch.
I saw a T-shirt the other day that says "Don't do drugs without me."
That's a good public service.
I want that T-shirt.
Do drugs with your friends.
Come on over, see the tits, and have the fun. Enjoy the fun, have the laughs, and see some tits.
See some tits.
I promise you, I can't emphasize enough how many tits.
There's gonna be so many disappointed people when they do that. I was promised.
Alex, you gotta let it marinate. Can you put that comment
Yeah,
back up?
absolutely.
Can you put the comment up?
Thelia said,
we died.
We're trying to do too much, I guess.
We died.
The internet here.
We died.
God damn. It's got crazy. Okay.
Hold on. We gotta leave. We gotta leave. We'll be right back.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, this is awkward. So, podcasts are crazy, huh, guys? Real cool. All right. Well, while we got the Bantha boys reloading things, I don't know what to tell you. We got Invincible coming up. I'm crazy excited. If you're not familiar with the comics, we are with the thin versions. These yeah, totally the first time, Fifth Bantha. With these versions, we are at about volume 12 in the show. It is insane how good this is picking up. All right, thank God I don't have to host anymore.
You know what happened? I have no fucking idea. But what was really funny is that we got to hear you say, "Well, this is awkward." That was the last thing we saw.
No, we heard you laugh.
It was great that we could see that last bit there.
Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah. So as we were saying, Athelia said in the chat, Bill said, "Stop and let it marinate." So we're gonna actually let that last moment just marinate. That was the worst technical moment in Drunk Bantha's podcast
I have
history.
no idea the TV was doing like all kind of crazy shit. It was like it looked like Into the Spider-Verse on this shit.
Yeah, it was crazy. I thought I was gonna see Miles Morales.
I was hoping.
Yeah, I was hoping it never came. The Fifth Bantha said, "Yo, what up, fam?" I actually mixed those words around a little bit, but
yo, fam, what up?
Sure.
You really did. I didn't really realize that you did, but you really did.
Yeah, it's a weird form of dyslexia. But
he don't move words, right? He moved the whole sentence, right?
But yeah, definitely check out Common Side Effects and come back on Thursday, 8 p.m. Pacific time to check out our conversation or Bill's conversation about Common Side Effects on the Bantha Bunch. But we should have wasted enough time, I think, for sure. It's time to take a stroll down Jeff's comic book corner. Jeff,
come on, internet.
What are we talking about today? Oh dear.
What are we talking about today, Jeff? Toby Blanco?
Joey's Bastards.
Joey's Bastards.
I see nothing but hear something.
Oh gosh.
Oh, that's great.
Wonderful.
Well, that's
Jimmy.
That's about Jimmy. That's using your dipstick, Jimmy. No, we can't hear you no more. I don't know what happened, but we can see you.
How about now?
We can see. We
can
hear you.
We can see you.
Hello.
This is going great.
Hey, we're talking about Jimmy's Bastards. All right, so we're on to issue 2 of Jimmy's Bastards. So remember, Jimmy is, the Archer, the 007 of England. And as we saw at the end of the last issue, what he doesn't realize is all of his bastard children are now coming after him. And which something that would make sense, but is never really explored in James Bond or Archer. There's like 100 of them. So kind of a few. Well, anyway, so this issue starts with Jimmy out golfing with some guy that's just called Mr. X. And it's explained that he's important, but we don't really know who he is. He's clearly someone high up in the British either monarchy or politics, excuse me. So they're sitting there and they're talking. And the entire time in the background, by the way, this guy's grandson, who is so dumb, the way they write his dialogue is almost impossible to read. They're all together playing golf. Well, anyway, so they're sitting there and they're talking. And, I think his name's Sir X is what they call this old fat white guy. Sir X is asking Jimmy, he's like, so you're probably wondering what your next mission is. And Jimmy's like, okay, yeah, what do we got? Do we have anything? And Sir X is saying, well, it's the craziest thing. We've been hearing from all these different countries, he goes, Jimmy's like, what do we have? And he goes, sweet fuck all. I'm afraid, unless you count this gender fluid business. And Jimmy's like, what are you talking about? And he's saying, I have no clue at all, but everyone's talking about it. And he means everyone, Mossad, the Americans, MI6. Everyone is freaking out about gender fluid. And it's just, ridiculous, old money, British white guy stuff. So anyway, they're talking about this stupid shit when off in the distance, Jimmy sees something coming up. And while he sees that Mr. X is still sitting there and he's trying to be like, no, I'm just telling you, everyone is dying to know what this gender fluid business actually is. And then in the next panel, the thing that Jimmy saw in the distance was attack helicopters with iron crosses on the sides shooting at them. So we get this great scene of Jimmy just sitting there like, well, excuse me, Sir X, I'm sorry for what I'm about to do. Then he tackles the guy to the ground, all the while his idiot grandson is running around. I am not editorializing. This is the dialogue. He says, helicopter, gunnips, awesome. This is just like level 10 of Sweet Sweeper 4. Like I said, the kid's a fucking idiot, and they make backhanded comments about it the entire time. So anyway, Jimmy, ever the secret agent, tees up and then just fucking rips one. And Jimmy's like Archer level good because his one shot breaks through the window, the glass, hits the chopper mechanic in the eye. The guy starts freaking out and swerving every which way to the point where, yeah, the choppers crash, but before they even crash, they somehow cut off another guy's head with the helicopter blade. It's insane. It's awesome. And Jimmy just stands there looking all, resplendent, hand on his hip, like, well, on a day's work. So anyway, then, Jimmy's partner shows up, and we see her talking on the phone while she's pulling up. And she's talking. It turns out she's talking to her sister, and she's clearly talking about Jimmy. And it's interesting. She's saying about how, he's charming like everyone. Yeah, I know you know what I do, but it doesn't mean I can talk about what I do. And yeah, he's charming like everyone says, but it's all a show, and he's kind of an ass. And she's sitting there, and she's like, yeah, he's cool and he's fun to work with, but he sucks too. So anyway, from there we move on, and they are inspecting the corpses while Jimmy's just drinking some champagne because, hey, secret agent do what a secret agent gonna do. And they're sitting there, and they're and by the way, only some of these are covered in black tarps. The guys in the front are just burnt to a literal crisp. So anyway, they start looking at all of these bodies, and they start inspecting them, and she notices something a little weird. Now, remember, these were from a German Nazi archenemy. But one of these guys is wearing a mask. And when she slowly pulls the mask off, it turns out he's a black guy. Which obviously, if you are working for a Nazi, 1 + 1 don't equal 2 in that situation. So anyway, they're sitting there and they're like, man, this is weird. And but she points out, she's like, I don't know, something about him. He's really familiar looking. And like, she can't place it, but because we read the last issue, we know that's one of Jimmy's sons. So anyway, they start walking off and they're talking a bit. And I love Jimmy's like, oh, you know, they were clearly going after Sir X. And she's like, are you sure it wasn't you? And Jimmy's like, who would come after me? And she goes, what? Who wouldn't? And she starts listing off some of his enemies. And I just love the list. Jerry Fokker, Bobo, Theophilus Trigger, Voltface, the Cock Blocker, Jester Nut, and Scropey McTits. They all loathe you, Jimmy. And he's like, well, I mean, that's flattering, but it's clearly not them. I'm clearly not the target. This has to be Sir X. So anyway, they're like, well, either way, we're going to look into this. So, by the way, I just saw Helios's comment. Oh, shit, it's Kanye West. That was really good. All right. So, go X, but we don't have any reason. Like, we don't know what to look up yet. So we're going to go and try and dig up some leads, while also be like, hey, maybe it's against Jimmy too. So they get in Jimmy's car and drive away, with Jimmy almost running over some reporters and just being like, I hate the media. So then they pull up to this place called the Carnahan Club, and when they're approaching the doorman's like, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, ladies aren't allowed in. And then Jimmy's like, no, she's with me. Like, oh, okay, of course, go right ahead. And she's just sitting there and she's just talking about, she's like, she says, words that come to mind, anachronistic, appalling. And Jimmy then cuts her off and saying, democracy, parliament, progress, which is such a shitty white man answer. But then he follows it up with this: its days are numbered. It'll change or it'll die. So that's the interesting thing about Jimmy. He's an absolute douche canoe, but like underneath it all, he's still fighting for the good things. It's really weird. It's like Archer, but every once in a while he's actually a good person. So anyway, they go into this place and they go up to the bartender, Edie, and they start talking to him. And Edie's immediately like, God damn it, this fucking guy. And Jimmy's just like, Edie, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you again. Some more champagne. And Edie's just like, it's not Edie anymore. It's Julius, because I have to work here. Which is just another dig at, old rich white assholes. But, Jimmy's alluding to the fact that he, well, hey, you know what? I knew you as Edie. I knew you when you were a gun runner. I got you this job. I'm going to call you by your actual name, not the white name they make you use in this place. Which is, again, just another one of those, like, you're a dickhead, but underneath, like, you got, like, a good core. Anyway. So these old guys in the background are arguing because Jimmy fucked their wives, and Edie's sitting there, and he's and they're trying to get some information out of him. And he's like, nope, haven't heard anything, don't know what you're talking about. Fuck off. And they're like, what about gender fluid? And Edie's like, well, what do you mean? What gender fluid? And she's like, everyone's talking about it. I assume you would have been briefed. And Edie's sitting there talking, and he's like, and he's just sitting there. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Could be anything. Like, obviously really shifty and stuff. So anyway, they get a little bit of info out of Edie, but nothing really all that important. So they start driving off again, and this car, while they're talking and chatting and everything, this car of real hot women pulls up and invites Jimmy to a party. And then and Jimmy's like, do you mind if I drop you off at the tube? And she's like, what? And Jimmy goes, he says, and this is a quote, want to pop home and slip into something more comfortable so I can slip into something more vaginal. And then Jimmy drops her off and goes to a party to, I guess, slip into something more vaginal. Anyway, so then next we cut to Edie, having a smoke, and 3 of Jimmy's kids walk up. And he's like, oh, God damn it. And they're like, hey, Edie, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. And he's like, son of a bitch. And they're like, we know. And he's like, I don't know. I mean, I did what you asked me to. And they're like, yeah, we know. We heard. We know you did what we asked you. And tomorrow you're going to do more of what we're asking you. And he's like, well, what? And they go, you're going to feed Jimmy everything we want him to know. So come tomorrow, you're going to call your good pal Jimmy up, and you're going to tell him, everything. You're going to say, apparently the gender fluid is real. You've even got a location. Not only that, but there is an enemy alliance. And it turns out those cretins can work together. And Edie's like, I don't know about this. And they're like, really? Because you really don't have much of a choice. You're talking like Jimmy, he's like, I don't want to lie, because what happens if people lie to Jimmy and he figures it out, and then once he figures it out and figures out I lied, then I'm in trouble. And they're like, so? He's like, but I can't. And they're sitting there and they're like, you know what? You're sitting here acting like, Jimmy's got you by the balls, when in reality, we do. And I blurred it because I don't know what we could show on YouTube, but in the comic, it's literally, it's actually his balls. There's no blurring over that at all. So they're getting Edie to feed Jimmy false leads because they have his balls on cryo sleep, I guess. Anyway, so Edie breaks down and he agrees. He's like, fine, I'll do it. I'll do what you ask me to. And so they're like, great. And they start getting the car to drive away. And one of the siblings says to the main one, he's like, all right, so what's the plan now, Junior? And the kid freaks the fuck out. Don't fucking call me Junior. Don't. He's literally kicking the roof of the car. He's throwing such a goddamn hissy fit. And then finally, stops. And the sister just goes, all done? And he's like, mm-hmm. We're like, good. And then they drive off to plan their next attack on Jimmy.
Man, I'm so glad that you blurred out the balls.
Yeah.
Because I was like, Jesus Christ. How? One, I'm really just glad that so I didn't have to see balls, or at least, yeah. But then also, I was like, how did he blur out them balls? Blurred them out good, too.
NerdsatNite says
it turns out it's a setting. It's a setting on a Samsung phone.
It says balls on the setting is what it says.
I love how Samsung was like, we're gonna need this.
And BAWLS click.
Also, I don't know why for me gender fluid means something completely different.
Well,
than what
does it mean to you, Bill?
Well, it sounds like the juices of one's gender going.
Well, Bill.
If it's oh shit,
that's a noun, not an adjective. Yeah,
not spot on. You may have read ahead in Jimmy's Bastards.
Oh
dear.
So since we're not going, since we only do the first 2 issues, I will say, I think this is important to know about it. So they keep, making the joke. It's like, it's all about the gender fluid and it's always said like it's the woke agenda. No, they found a fluid and put it in Britain's water that changes your gender.
Gnarly.
Gender fluid. I love it.
Yeah.
Gnarly. Mine is way grosser.
And shockingly,
way more gross.
Every former man just can't stop playing with his tits.
Awesome.
Oh, that's not predictable at all.
I would be I don't think so. I don't know. I've always thought about that. Like, I don't know what I would do if I all of a sudden had gender
grinds to a halt.
Yeah, no, dude. I would definitely feel bad about that. I don't know. I like. Well, never mind.
Put it in the comments what you would do with your gender fluids.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I do with my gender fluids. I do something with my gender fluids right now. I ain't need no Johnny help.
But guys,
I'll say the Samsung Blur feature would be in use.
Yes.
Yeah.
And everything that I'm going to show you is going to be in heavy use. Long, thick, heavy use.
Anyway, I guess that's a good enough time to move on.
But remember, you would be a woman. But remember, you'd be a woman, so it just sounds like you're talking about your flow.
Whatever it is. Whatever it is, it's going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fluid. That's all I know.
What we got going on in the chat?
Well, we got
Ophelia said it's all fun and games until you finally experience period cramps, right?
It is.
You don't know the.
That's exactly. See, that's what I'm saying, Ophelia. Yeah, man. Fuck all that. I ain't trying to do that, man.
In the words of Paul Mooney, everybody want to be a nigga, but don't nobody want to be a nigga. But you know what? I think
speaking of niggas, I'm sorry.
It's a perfect introduction.
This is the craziest 26 minutes of my life.
Yeah. A weird episode. And let's make it a little bit weirder with the philosopher of the barbershop variety. 9, what is going on?
Hey, what's happening, guys? Well, you guys all right this evening?
I think the answer is clearly no.
Look, it was really hard.
Woman's month, right?
It was a really rough 15 minutes getting in here. And yeah, now we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
And we all got the jokey laughs, the laughy jokes.
And you know what? You mentioned that it's Women's History Month, and it's a perfect time to talk about our next episode that focuses on one of our more prominent female characters of the show. That's right, we're talking about That's right.
This is why I started putting timestamps in there.
Yeah. Next thing's a little bit easier. Yes, right. We're talking about the newest episode of Severance, sort of a standalone, and the shortest episode of Severance, I think, that we've had in the entire series, actually. So this will be an interesting conversation. You know what? Since you said that, Donald, I'll let you go first. What were your initial thoughts on this episode?
So here's the thing. It's important to see these parts of the story. They're gonna come back. They're hinting at things that are gonna fill out the story when it all comes together. But good God, I don't care enough about her character for a full fucking episode of just her. It was boring. It was slow paced. It was one of those ones where it's getting a dental cleanup or a dental cleaning. You need it. It's important. I would have done anything else with my day.
Thought you were going to say a dental dam.
No, I didn't drink the gender fluid.
That's what I'm talking about. See, I'm throwing layups out here tonight, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm throwing layups. Call me Chris Paul. Call me Steve Nash today, baby. Throwing them up.
Cliff Paul out here throwing up assists. 9, what about you? What were your initial thoughts on this episode?
Kind of mirroring the same thing. I felt myself just kind of like phasing out while watching it. But near the end, I was like, okay, yeah, they're doing something here. But yeah, exactly what Donald Ferguson said is that we are going to have to wait if this is going to come into fruition by the end of the season or maybe next season. Or, I mean, it's probably going to happen next week, hopefully. But geez, do we need it? I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully we can. I don't know. I personally, I kind of have similar thoughts. This is my least favorite episode of the show. And I feel like it could have even been just like a part of last episode. Like, I feel like we could have cut this down to maybe 15 minutes made the last episode a little bit longer.
Isn't the last
and just,
episode like the shortest episode, I think? On runtime?
Yeah, actually, I didn't check the runtime, but this one felt really short. So like, and that's the only reason why I checked the runtime, and it was like 36 minutes or something like that.
Oh, maybe this was the short one.
Yeah, this was super short, and I felt like they could have just like had this storyline going on concurrently with the last episode, since it does sort of tie into the end of last episode. I get why they ended the last episode the way they did. It just adds a little bit more intrigue and suspense, sort of a cliffhanger. But yeah, I felt like this episode was just like a total drag, and not interesting enough to just carry on a whole episode. I'm with Jeff. I'm glad that it didn't last a full like 50 minutes or something like that. Then I would have definitely fallen asleep.
I would say even like if they put it in episode 6, because I like episode 7 the way that it is, having it be just Gemma. But episode 6, I remember feeling like, where is Cobell at? What's going on with her? And I think it would have definitely benefited. Yeah, exactly. I think there's 15 minutes of content here in a 36-minute episode.
Now that you mentioned that, like I think that it would have been a really good way, like, with the teaser of Devin calling her a few times, like that would have been a nice teaser for the next episode. It's like, wait, why was she calling her? And like we find out at the end of that episode.
Bitch, quit calling me. God damn.
He blowing up my phone.
This bitch talk so goddamn much, my nigga.
What did you think of this episode, Bill? Do you have the same thoughts?
Let me tell you something, man. Your thoughts. Your thoughts. Your thoughts ain't my thoughts. Bitch, I'm preaching straight from the survival scrolls.
Oh, man.
Next call.
I had that clip.
No. Yeah, we took it down for some stupid reason. It's gone now.
We didn't use it for months. I was like, I should take this off.
Oh, well,
but now was the
now I know.
time.
Now I know the stupid reason. Now I know. No, I'm joking. I thought that y'all have said similar things to how I felt, like odd getting a Cobell episode, but I think I might have said we're getting a Cobell episode because we ain't seen her in like 6 episodes. So, but I can't remember how many times I've been right about this show. Just been so right. Like I keep getting shit right about so many shows. I can literally keep forgetting what the fuck show I was right about. So with that, actually, it's just really we fucking talking about too many goddamn shows. But with that being said, yes,
sure.
I liked the episode because damn, this is messed up. I liked the episode because I watched it 4 times.
4 times.
I did not understand
Bill's
shit.
literally describing the Stockholm syndrome of television.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I just didn't. The first time I watched it, I was dozing off. I was like, it was really late, and I was drunk, and I was like, oh yeah, Severance is on. It was my birthday last week, so I was drunk as hell. And then I watched it, and then I was starting to fall asleep, waking up, falling asleep, waking up. I was like, I don't understand what the fuck just happened. Maybe I missed some stuff, right? I watched it again. Turns out I didn't really miss much, and I still didn't know what the fuck was going on. So then I watched it again, but I wasn't really watching. And then I watched it again today. And then the last motherfucking time, I was like, you know what? This wasn't a bad episode. It's just boring, but it's like boring to a point, right? Boring with a purpose, to an end. And that end to me was, we got a lot of information in this episode without getting really anything, which is as consistent as it can be with this show. This show gives you a little information, enough to make you go, oh, so now I understand that. But what the fuck does that got to do with goats, man? Like, why? What does that got to do with goats? So, and then what's that got to do with babies and goddamn maternity and why Gemma and Scott?
The numbers.
What's the numbers? Why are people scared? Why do the numbers
Yeah.
have feelings? Nobody knows the answers to any of these questions, and that's why we've been watching this shit for what 18 episodes now.
This
Like it's pretty
yeah,
fascinating.
this show's like, hey, this is an isosceles triangle, and here's the hypotenuse, and you're like, okay, but we've been talking about geography.
Yeah, right.
And they're just
Yes.
like, yes. Yeah.
Exactly.
I
Does
guess
it? Oh, go ahead.
No, go
he's
ahead.
about to say, does it hold?
No, I was gonna ask if it makes her a sympathetic character, but I feel like we can answer that later.
Yeah, she's still like you understand that she had a fucked up childhood, but I don't think that it makes anybody like on her side. But it could potentially show inspiration for why she
What
might.
you mean ain't nobody on her side? Dude was on her side.
No, I meant like us as the audience. We're not gonna be on her side.
Viewers.
We're not gonna be like, yay.
I was about to say because old buddy, he was like, "You want to get high? You want to get high?
Yeah, ends up being the secret.
Not only do you want to get high, do you want to puff this glue?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Which
that's
fun-
another thing. Okay, go ahead. That was another thing that got me fucked up. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Sweet Vitriol, which is the name of this episode, was apparently a nickname for Ether back in the day. So that's the I guess the meaning behind the name of the episode.
Okay, see, I kept watching people like shout out to Pete Peppers, trying to get Pete Peppers on the show,
Friend of the show.
Trying to get him on the show because he does like the best breakdown so far.
He does do.
And real
We'll be happy to
Enigma?
give you a peck of pickled peppers if you show up.
somebody had to go there. Somebody had to do it. It's wide open.
I mean,
Low
low
but
hanging fruit.
him and the real cinema enigmas, I think is his
Okay.
YouTube. Remember the nigga who?
Yeah, black dude.
Yeah. So yeah, trying to get them on the show because they do the best breakdowns, better than us, but they not funny as us. So anyway, but I was drunk watching them, and I didn't understand what the fuck they was talking about. Ether. Nigga, how you get ether out of what I was like, didn't nobody say nothing about no goddamn ether.
Yeah, I don't remember anybody saying anything about Ether.
But
I
the title.
No,
Sweet
it's
title. Okay,
Sweet
because to me they was just huffing paint. I don't know. Shit.
You want to have some glue?
The white people I know don't do shit like that. Like Jeff don't do
Hey, that's a different kind of white people. right
Yeah.
there. And that's it.
Fun fact.
I love that you said fun fact right after I said it's a different kind of white people.
That's Jeff over there.
No, he's got fun fact. If he says fun fact,
No,
he's
he's-
going to
he's
go
digging
into
into
that
his
fucking
bag.
treasure chest.
Sorry, what? I'll be right there.
Correction. I know a
sorry,
couple of white
What were we talking
I know a
about?
couple of white people who don't do that. That's what I meant to say.
I guess nitty-gritty of this episode, as we mentioned, sort of, Cobell arrives in Salt's Neck, the seaside town she grew up in, and the town has fallen on hard times, Daddy, as the Lumen-owned factory that once supported the town has closed, and much of the remaining population is addicted to the drug ether. Now, like we mentioned this a little bit, and about how she has this reconnection with.
My belly might be a little too big. Oh, sorry.
We mentioned a little bit about how like she revisits her old friend. What do you guys think of this actor who played her, childhood
Patricia Arquette?
compatriot?
I'm gonna get my Patricia Arquette rocks off later. Well,
Tattoo?
no freaky. But yeah, Jeff.
Yep.
The question has been posed to you. How do we feel about this weird old ass lady performance in this creepy ass scene?
Wait, sorry.
What do you
The
think
lady
they
or
did?
this guy?
What?
I thought we were talking about this guy.
want to talk about this guy first.
I was talking about the lady. You said the weird old.
Okay.
You must have been talking about the lady because
it's going to be unfortunately the same for both. He's got a white beard.
Yeah, I was trying to find this guy's name.
Honestly, they both could have given the best performance there was. It wouldn't have mattered because this episode was so dull. I was so uninterested. Now, that being said, both this guy and the crazy old lady living in her mom's house, I felt outacted Patricia Arquette in this episode. But I don't think that was her fault. I think that was the writing.
Oh.
Cobell just kind of boring, man.
Yeah.
The actor's name is James LaGrosse.
You got to turn it up. Turn it up. We about to get in the bag, y'all. Alex, go ahead. What's his name again?
His name is James LaGrosse. He played Hampton in this episode. And
James!
Oh, my nigga.
Man. I didn't look. I ain't never seen James with no beard.
He's got a mustache usually.
That's crazy.
Wait, what's
Shout out to James, man, friend of the show, James.
But yeah, I honestly thought he was really good in this episode, and I like the idea of bringing him in and just like showing how Miss Cobell had like this really fucked up childhood and how they sort of bonded over that, but they kind of still hate each other. They probably did some really fucked up hood rat shit when they were children. So I liked just the dynamic of that. But again, like I felt like this could have been peppered in with another episode. Didn't need to last this long.
Pineapple Adrift says, I try to appreciate all episodes equally. I do the same thing. I do the same thing. Also, if you're Ben Stiller, you have to tell us. I do the same thing, but that's why I said I watched it 4 times. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watched it 4 times. And I think if y'all watch it 4 times, y'all feel like more like me.
Yeah. Yeah, baby.
I literally just watched it before I got on. And
well, what are your feelings? Yeah, go ahead. Nice segue. What is your feelings as we leave this comment up?
Who is James? What's he in?
James is the
homie. He's a stunt performer.
Because honestly, it seems like they got like a random dude off the street. Just think of like any.
Excuse me, sir. He was in 4.
Your friend.
He was in 4 episodes of Blue Bloods.
Yeah,
that is disrespectful.
And one of Constantine.
Yeah, exactly.
He just reminds me of like one of my.
He was in 6 episodes of Justified.
Drunk at like the barbecue, and just starts talking about his glory days. That's the type of energy he was putting off, and I was like,
a drug addict. I mean, a drug addict, drug dealer.
I don't know what type of body.
Yeah, see, I don't think Nine knows a lot of
he
drug
has
addicts.
138 credits.
138 credits.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, James is the homie, man. James works.
James be out here working.
James works. Okay.
Other than what else is he?
Second one.
It's hard to say what else he's been in if you don't. He works so hard. He works, so much.
I mean, like,
I don't be keeping up. He's just the homie, so I don't really be in his pockets. Like
Break
that.
remake.
Anyway.
He was in the Psycho remake, but I mean, like, these are all really small parts.
Mm-hmm.
Small parts, big checks.
Hopefully, this is his breakout role. Like that, he's gonna really step up. Oscar next year, maybe.
Nah, man. Look, man, y'all are being disrespectful. Small parts, big checks. Let's get it, James. Let's do it.
Yeah. Love you, James. But
James.
You, I don't know, people who are featured in the most hated episode of a series, so you get propelled.
Well, maybe he's just been in like 100 bad episodes of television.
Yeah, right.
on really good shows.
Right. He's the shining star in a bad episode of a good TV show. That's his niche.
Yeah. He's like, that's how I come in, baby. That's how I come in. I wouldn't get no jobs if it wasn't no bad episodes.
I want the weakest script. What is this bullshit? No, this sounds good.
I'll do it.
Get my agent on one.
Oh, he's a bigger actor than we thought. He plays the final patient of Dr. Gregory House. Don Coscarelli personally chose him over Brad Pitt for the part of Mike in Phantasm 2. Guys, come on.
I mean, gosh, yeah.
The worst
Amazing.
of the worst. Phantasms.
I mean, come on.
And I hate both phantasms.
Moving right along. So Cobell, she meets up with her friend Hampton, like we mentioned, and she has him take her to her old house.
Yeah. Well, we find out before that they were child slaves.
Yeah, they were childhood slaves. Like, there was a moment
Together.
in the episode where she says, "Well, I haven't tried this either since I was 8." I was like, "God damn, that's insane."
No, that dead ass got me.
But also explains a lot about Cobell.
Somehow I missed that the first 3 times. But the 4th time, let me tell you something. When she said that shit the 4th time, I said the same shit. I said, God damn. Bitch, you was huffing at 8.
She quit at 8. She hit rock bottom at 8. Like, that's the craziest thing about it.
That's a tough one.
That's what I want a clip of. I want a clip of Alex just saying she hit rock bottom at 8.
Let me tell you something. If that damn AI clip, let me tell you something about AI. Fuck AI. If that goddamn AI clip was worth a good goddamn, it would have all the funny parts of the show. It always clips some fucking stupid ass part. It'll clip us laughing at the part that we just laughed at, and then us going, "Yeah, man, I don't know why it doesn't ever clip."
AI would clip this right here. This conversation about the joke that just happened.
This is the fun part. I'm tired of Jeff leaving with our cups, by the way.
The AI is just excited to be in the show.
I gotta go get one of our cups. I gotta go get the same cup because he be walking out of here.
You should have said.
I think people think that I'm joking.
You didn't tell me I couldn't.
Free refills.
Free refills.
So they go to Harmony's mother's house.
Sissy's house first. Sissy was her mother was staying with Sissy.
Well, yeah, I guess this is like both of their house. That Sissy is Harmony's aunt, and she is a Lumen devotee who attempts to prevent Harmony from entering her mother's old room.
Devotee.
And this is where she died. Sad hood story. After a long illness, while Harmony was at the Lumen boarding school.
I really miss my nigga. Oh, I really miss my nigga. That's the song.
That's a good song.
That's the one for her right here.
What did you guys think? Because I did really like a lot about this this moment, and like her, like especially her laying down on the bed and having the time pass. Like, I feel like it's a really good like depiction of just like paralyzing depression. But what did you guys think about this scene with Cobell just like coming to terms with her mom's room? Donald, I'll let you go first.
Well, it was a little odd because while she's in the room and she's like actually laying there and taking it in, clearly she is, we can't really tell if she's missing her mom, if she's feeling just kind of like lost herself or whatever. But it gets a little extra odd when, like, after that, when she's running around looking for that key. I'm sorry, she was looking for the key before that, wasn't she? And we saw all the things in the house that were like hard dedicated to Lumen. Like, they almost looked like canoptic jars, from Egyptian mythology, but they had different animals on top, and there were all these different things that were like the Lumen mythos and things like that. So it absolutely felt like you were looking in the dwelling of a cult member, and you are. So, I mean, that part was interesting. But again, they show us that she was literally a child slave. They show us she was clearly horribly abused as a child, and I just don't care about her. They show me all that. I still just can't give a shit.
He said, "Yeah, they showed me all that,
Oops.
and I hate this bitch."
I don't give a good goddamn.
And I don't. Oh, that's the clip we
You really
need.
do need that.
That's the clip we need. Somebody send me fried green tomatoes clip. The
But
judge.
in the meantime, you know what clip will
Do
do?
we care? Are we caring about that?
I mean, the reason I care is because.
R.I.P. Leaf on the Wind.
Watch how I fly.
All right.
All right. Still getting too goddamn nerdy up in here.
Had to put my adult voice on. No, but seriously though, I like.
Dad's mad.
I liked this information. I felt like it was too manic, but like the way it was shot was just a little too manic. I hope it wasn't it couldn't have been old girl, our director from last week.
No, it wasn't.
No, I'm not talking about her directing, but she is director of photography.
Oh yeah.
And I'm
yeah.
like, yo, I'm gonna say it wasn't her that day. Because this was a little wonky and it was a little like manicky, like
Yeah.
I've experienced heavy mania before, and that's kind of how when I've been drinking, and that's how it sounds. That's how it remembers. Like it's like no. That's kind of how it is for me. And also, I think a lot of this, I don't think people want to say it because Patricia Arquette family, she's a fucking technically like an icon. She's a Hollywood darling.
Yeah.
And when we gonna say this bitch can't act? When we gonna say that? When we just gonna say it that she can't act? Like y'all talking shit about all the shit she in. Don't want to say. And I'm not saying she can't act, because I bet you she don't act like this around the house. But
Right.
she makes weird, exhausting, interpretable decisions, choices as an actress. I guarantee you it wasn't in the goddamn script. She suck on that goddamn. I guarantee you it was not in the script that she's go crying and suck on this goddamn this ventilator. Nigga, that's nasty.
Oh yeah.
That was in somebody's whole throat, cuz she just sucking on the tip of it. That was in somebody's throat, nigga.
That's a weird.
Even
Yeah, that's
no,
weird.
wipe
bro.
it off. Do one of these with a shirt first.
Yeah, no, it ain't enough crest or scope in the world. Make me put that goddamn shit in my mouth.
Yeah.
I love my mama, but I'm not putting that ventilator in my goddamn mouth. And I'm just saying, she make choices like that, and then, like I was saying earlier, I don't believe you. Like when did this character turn into this? Like when?
I think that's it right there.
Maybe it was the ether. No, she hadn't even did ether yet.
Ether yet.
Damn.
They calmed her
He's
down.
just into town. This has got an ether
Well,
fog,
Maybe it's the ether
like Silent Hill.
from 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. That made her
It's creeping
fucking
up on her. Yeah.
yeah,
But
man.
do you think it's the facade dropping? Because I would say her character in season 1 was just so on point. But do you think that because the whole facade of her being the boss bitch has dropped and she has to be put into that characterization now, that it's just not really nailing because of the buildup, or is it strictly just the acting that you're not latching on to?
I just think that she's making choices that are weird, and that don't take away from the fact that that's how she did all season 1. She ain't really been in this season for real, but that's how she was all season 1. She was weird as fuck.
Yeah.
Her
But it fit her
character
character,
is weird, but there are choices that she's making as an actress that are making it even more weird. And I'm not saying that that's not a good choice as far as building the character, telling this character story, but hold up, bro. These moments, there's certain moments where he just be like, this is just this don't tell me nothing. And like, I don't feel like I care about this character, mostly because I don't feel like I care about her performances. I mean, we care about Milchek, and we don't know nothing about this nigga, and he might not have nothing to do with really anything.
Yeah,
I
but
think
we
it is
really
just
like
the veil dropping is really what gets me. Is that like, now that she's not the boss, all of her weirdness is just coming across as just like very sad and out of place. It's like when you're rich and powerful, they just call you eccentric. But if you're crashing out and doing ether, then you're just a weird bum.
You're just a drug addict. It's basically what it comes down to.
How many of these takes you think it was just the director being like, "God damn it, I can't keep doing this. Fine, it's good. Move on."
Yeah. No, I think it's the opposite. I think that the director is informing a lot of these performances. I feel like she's. I don't know.
You think it's like Spielberg, like he's just walking you through the whole scene, like this is what you do, this is what you say, this is what you say.
Well, no, I think that with any not necessarily like line reading, but I think any director worth their own salt is getting the performance that they want out of their actor, and at the end of the day, like they're in the editing room and they're choosing the takes that they want from the actor. So like it's it's their decision what's going out there.
I was just
who directed this episode?
Me.
It was Ben Stiller.
It was Ben Stiller.
Yeah. So there you go.
Look, I have not said one bad thing about Mr. Stiller this entire series. And you're not gonna try to bait me.
Feel like there's a good big old butt coming right about now, huh?
You're not gonna get me, you're not gonna bait me. I do want to point out that Pineapple Adrift never said anything about not being Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
And what do they give away on Severance?
Pineapples.
And they've shown that pineapples is actually a big part of the overall story somehow.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
Look, man, you can't hide from me, baby. It's okay. Just come on over here and join us. Say some more stuff in the chat. You know what? How about this? Pineapple Adrift, Ben Stiller, you can come after the show's over. Just how about that? I'll allow it.
But we should move on since we got a lot of time to talk about. But Harmony finds whatever key she was looking for. She finds it in the room, but Harmony decides to look inside her outdoor storeroom where she finds her yearbook and her sketches of the severance procedure and Chip, revealing she was the true inventor. So we find out this is a pretty big revelation. Right. That's first of all, it always seems like Lumen is so old. So I always just pictured the severance procedure as being so old, but we've been told since the very first season that this is a pretty new technology. So it's kind of crazy to just also have that realization. It's maybe a young person came up with it, not this fucking old
we've
dude.
Been told that it was not existent 20 years ago, and it means that it would have now been existing at least 50 years ago.
Yeah, and it just shows that how kind of brilliant Cobell is, and also how some it's sort of a parallel with a lot of corporations where your own creative you're the things you create aren't necessarily your own. They belong to the company.
You don't own your intellectual property.
Yes,
yeah, it's like working for Mattel. No, it's like working for Barbie. No, I think it's interesting that you got it that much out of it, because I felt like it more so tells you that Cobell, yes, she's a genius, but she's also down for the cause, like a real soldier. These people took her ideas and making billions of dollars, trillions of dollars, enslaving humanity, and all she gets is the severed floor.
Yeah.
And then also, she don't even get that no more. Like, hold up, cuz now you understand why she was so frustrated previously. Like, you understand like her flabbergastry. Flabbergastry. But look, she took all this shock and awe, and we now know why she was that shocked. We also know that they was definitely gonna kill her ass.
They was about to kill the fuck out of her.
She was definitely worried about that this episode. You could definitely tell like death was about to come.
Yeah. And it's like a really creepy relationship that she has with her aunt, who immediately tries to burn the sketches. It's like, oh no, goddamn it, did you tell anybody about this? Captain Badass said in the chat, slow burn episode, but it was fantastic. Acting masterclass from Patricia Arquette. Insane reveal at the end. More lore on Lumen and their practices and how much they care about the harm they do. Now, I did like that, all that stuff. But again, I feel like it could have been shorter and included another episode. Would have been way more.
And see, this is another thing. I'm glad to bring this up. Captain Badass, KBA. Capitan. I'm glad that you said this because I disagreed here, but it's not like I don't understand what decisions are being made. And so if you feel like this right here is a masterclass, then that means you probably one of the people who loved this episode instead of like a lot of people who felt like this is like a lull in the series. Not, and for this to be the penultimate, is this the penultimate? Or are they going to give us 10?
No, yeah, they're giving us 10 this season.
Okay, so to be up this close to the end, it's like, but I'm glad that you said that you loved this episode because I didn't hate the episode like you guys. I didn't dislike it as much as you guys did, but I do understand why it was disliked because it's not at the pace that this show moves.
Right.
It's not even that I dislike it. It was just like I don't feel any sort of way towards this episode, to be honest.
Which in my book is a dislike. If you have no feeling about an episode of television, that means that they did not do a good job.
Especially after last week, it was just like that episode was just like art, art in motion. But this one was just like, really,
I will give you
just leaving us with us.
I will say this, and we can move on. I feel like this episode best explained or summed up as it's basically like an episode of Supernatural. It's like there's a lot of stuff that you need to know in it, but it's also you feel like you didn't need that whole episode. Like I could have just got just the last 25 minutes, the last 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, it's like episode 7 of a season Supernatural.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because they're the kings of filler episodes. Is all
they're great.
How do you guys feel about the reveal then? Just that she is the inventor.
I'm interested to see how it's going to actually. I'm interested to see how it's actually going to mean anything. Because at first it's like kind of shocking because it's like, oh shit, Cobell created the severance procedure. But now they're gonna have to answer like why that matters.
That matters a lot because they've ostracized her from society.
I'm just saying like what is she gonna do and what are her like quote unquote rights?
No one knows that she's the creator, so that creates
think about it.
A lot of division between a company that is basically praises their CEOs as if they're godlike figures.
Yeah,
go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, but she wasn't even a CEO. She was like middle management.
No, I
mean
meant
also
that,
think about it this way. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Well, so think about it like if you're one of the people on the covered floor and you find out Cobell invented the bullshit you did to your brain, that changes everything.
Actually, yeah.
It does change everything. And then also, if you find out, if you're Helena and you find out that your dad is actually not the one who created this technology, and you've been looking at him as like God too, and also he don't fuck with you like that.
Yeah.
It kind of takes away a lot of his power.
Yeah.
I feel like someone all knows that.
No, nobody would know it except her. The sissy didn't even know it. Everything was locked away.
Yeah.
Like they kept all of this a secret, and she asked her why she didn't tell anybody. Sissy asked Cobell why she didn't tell anybody, and she said we were told that Kier's all work was for Kier, so like was to be shared with Kier, like all technology, everything was meant to be shared with Kier. So meaning like shut your ass, and they told her to shut up or she would have been ostracized. So that means that no one knows this except for James Egan.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very well kept secret.
Yeah.
I think it's James. Is it Jamie Egan? It's spelled Jame.
I think it's James.
James. That's also look, people. Can I get the thank you? Listen. I want y'all to know there could not be too many things in the world that you should be absolutely terrified of, like human beings, like serial killers, molesters of certain kinds, But there are ways to weed out the motherfuckers, man. Like people with the name Chet, the name Armisen, that's the first names now, and the name Jame. If a nigga got the name Jame, run in the other direction. He's probably a serial killer.
Words to live by.
To live by.
But guys, let us know what you thought of this episode of Severance. We only got 2 episodes left, and then we're wrapping it up.
Like a big ass. Oh, sorry. Banana.
I don't know what you were going to go with that.
Well, I was going where you thought I was going. Oh, yeah.
But we should move on to our next topic because we have so much to talk about.
Yeah,
today.
That's good.
Yeah,
you're right.
That's good.
Because after every more, we should just move on.
Yeah, we should just move on. Fun and educational. Brought it back.
Yep.
We're going to be talking about it.
I know everybody's fucking excited to talk about this one.
The penultimate episode of Invincible. Very excited. Oh my gosh, what have I done? That's not what I'm saying. Personally, that's the name of the episode. Initial thoughts, Nine. What was your opinion on this episode? You're a residential hater of Invincible.
To be honest, it was all right. I was actually kind of underwhelmed by it, to be honest.
Oh, don't say. Everybody here is surprised.
No, because I actually loved last week's episode, but for some reason I was pretty amped up to see the Invincible War, and I was like, I thought it would just be a lot more impactful than I don't know. I just didn't really get what I thought I was going to get with it.
Okay. Donald, what did you...
I'm just laughing because I know Terry's going to jump on here in about 30 minutes. He's going to be like 40 minutes later coming in talking about some, man, I love this episode.
Go outside, nerd. Get out. Go.
What about you, Donald? What did you think of this episode?
Is he there? Oh,
he's back. What'd you think of this episode,
Donald? Hello. I loved it. I thought it was a really great episode. I liked how it was done. I thought the pacing was good. I have a couple of questions from it, but overall, very much enjoyed it.
Hell yeah. I'm glad you have questions because other people probably feel the same way. They probably have a lot of questions, and we got answers because this is the fucking Drunk Banthas podcast, and we got fucking answers here.
What was your
Hit the X-Files button. No, I'm joking. Not yet.
Not yet. It's too soon.
How'd you feel about this episode, dog? Our resident Invincible lover. Our lover of...
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Can you move the microphone?
Move this that way.
You got that
I've
Invincible.
been waiting to wear this shirt for 2 years.
Yeah, man.
Spoilers.
You won
You go,
2 episodes ago.
Yeah, I mean, I wear it all the time, but I've been waiting for this moment.
I'm so glad you said something, Jeff. Motherfucker wore it like 6.
It was 2 episodes ago.
Like 6 dozen holes up in a row. Like,
I don't have anything else on. I'm just gonna put this. No, I loved the first season so much that I just speed read all of Invincible that summer. I was like, I have to know what happens next, and this was one of like the biggest, craziest moments in the comics. And watching it like in the on the series, I was like super excited for it. But it was also a little bit underwhelming for me. And I think that it was just like because it was the second bite of the apple. It's because like I had reread those panels of the comic books like 800 times. So I just like super soaked it in. And like they did a great job of representing that and like adapting that for the TV show. And they even like expanded on some stuff that I thought was like really cool and made the story a little bit more dense. But I don't know why. It was just like, okay, cool. But Witchblade, there's no Witchblade. All right, that's cool. No Spawn, no Savage Dragon. Okay, that's cool. That's cool too.
but you already knew that, wasn't you? You named basically everybody that you said like 2 weeks ago or a week ago that this wasn't gonna happen.
Right. But I was surprised that we did get characters like Tech Jacket, who is also an Image character from the comics that I didn't expect to show up because and Britt, who would have like had some other interactions in Invincible at this point. Like since we didn't see him, I just assumed we weren't going to get him, but he showed up in this episode. And not to say that they're going to pull a fucking Marvel when they got fucking Spider-Man for Civil War and just like pull some sort of copyright Houdini. And that's not like the main reason I didn't like. I think it was underwhelming. I think it was just, again, I saw this for like the 100th time, but it was still like, it's great. Like how could you ignore how amazing and devastating the story is? But what about you?
Thought you'd never ask. I like this episode. I did not expect them to cut it as short as they did. I think that's probably why you, like you said, second bite of the apple was probably tempered your excitement a little down. But I think that it's really just that they didn't spend a lot of time with it. They moved through it
really fast.
They moved through it really quick. And I don't know if that's because they felt like it's not that significant of a story, or if they just were like, we got to get to the shits.
Right.
Like we've talked about it before several times. Like you never know how long you got to be on TV. And as a writer, as a creator, as a director, as a executive producer, you want to make sure you end on your own terms, or at least end with a good, solid story being told.
Yeah.
And I think that might be a little bit of what we're going through right now. A little bit of what we're seeing here. They just was like, look, let's just get to the shits. Let's just get to the shits. Like
for some reason, having it be so quick made it feel like it wasn't as big of a deal as I know it is.
Mm-hmm.
I did think that we were going to spend a lot more time on it. I thought it was actually going to be like a 2-episode type of event, but I mean, we're clearly just rolling right now. And I'm not at this part in the comics yet, so
right.
Oh, really?
I think I might enjoy it more just with the pacing on some of the comics aspects. I think I might enjoy it more.
That long.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it does kind of like
it's only like 20 pages in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even though it does like last 3 days, it does kind of pass by pretty fast. Athelius Maximus said in the chat,
like Ramadan.
If it was exactly like Ramadan, if it was this bad with just the Mark variants, what they gonna do with the Viltrumite army pulls up.
And also,
Yes.
I feel like to answer his question, I think the Viltrumite army is going to have more character, like a little bit more. I think that all the variants of Mark were just a little fucking bitchy, whiny, assholey.
Mhm.
A little too much of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
like every single one of them was like insane and just really childish.
Yeah.
They
And
were
I-
some bitches too. Like, I don't know. I feel
Yeah.
like they kind of swept them a little bit too quickly, to be honest.
Well, you know what? Let's get into exactly what happened in this episode, because this was a doozy. Ekstrom sends his invincible variants to destroy Earth and tarnish Mark's image. Is that? Well, anyway, the GDA,
Yep,
the
you
Guardians,
Go for the correct ones.
Image Comics.
yeah, message. The GDA, the
Whoa.
Guardians, and
Oh.
Earth's heroes are overwhelmed and suffer heavy losses. Now, yeah, like again, this was really devastating, but we did go by this pretty fast. But I don't know. I don't know what I would have like expected more of this. Like, is just like more fights, because it's just basically these guys wrecking shit. I think that we kind of got the point in the time that we got. What would you like to see more of, Donald?
So very much the same as what you said. I would have enjoyed seeing the other characters, but I understand that Image doesn't have the licenses for them. I would have liked maybe a little more time with each of the variants, but again, I felt like they spent about as much time on them as we got in the book. I don't know, it's weird because it feels like they gave us the same amount of info we got in the comic book, but somehow the comic book feels paced better. It's really odd. I was talking about Dean, and he was, because I don't read manga. I don't like just the black and white. I like having color. But my buddy was telling me there's an episode in season 2 or 3 of Demon Slayer that it's a 3-episode long fight that's fucking amazing, and it's 2 pages in the manga. And this kind of feels like the opposite of that.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting trying to like adapt.
I think I know what it could have did.
Oh, what's that?
They should have made it like oh, wrong dude. They should have made this battle shorter.
So it shouldn't have lasted 3 days.
No. It should have lasted 3 days, but they should have just made this they should have made this conflict shorter and then bring our nigga Conquest in and leave us on a better cliffhanger. I mean, I loved the cliffhanger.
Mhm.
But I just felt like either it either needs to be quicker with less of this bullshit, crazy Invincibles dialogues where we had to hear these whiny ass motherfuckers the whole time. Like,
Oh, right. Yeah.
it's just like, let's just cut a lot of that out. And I think that might have made it better. Pace better if we just cut all that out.
Yeah.
Eve gets hurt immediately. Then, because the main part of that story is that Mark don't want to do nothing. That's the main part of that story. That's what you're supposed to come away with. And I just felt like that's not what they were able to do on television. And it might not have hit for people who haven't read the comics and shit. It might not have hit the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Just giving you
honestly,
that
like
kind of
Oh, wait,
understanding.
I thought that was one of Mark's at first.
Dude, I was literally just going to ask that question.
wait, what?
Dude,
This,
it's not.
It
The
does
gun
look
totem
a
Daredevil
Mark just
looked like
with
a
the
Mark at
blindfold.
first.
Yeah, he's like their version of Daredevil. He shoots people, and he's actually in the Guardians of the Guardians of the Globe
comics. Yeah.
But
Bro,
yeah, not
they're
much
like
known about
Justice
this
League
guy.
Unlimited. Everyone's in the Guardians of the Globe.
Yes,
Yep. Recruiting everybody.
yes, and
Wildcat, you're in here.
no one knows
Fucking
anything
loser.
about that guy. Yeah, fucking loser. Lame bitch. Go ahead,
But
Alan.
no, yeah, like to your point, like two of the biggest I guess three of the biggest takeaways from all this when I was reading the comics was like, Earth is devastated. That's one. Two is something we'll get to later with our favorite Gambit inspired character. But the third thing was that Eve is like incapacitated, and Mark sits out most of the fight. So all the heroes kind of have to protect Earth on their own.
No, you're absolutely right. I want to read. Delia says, so is this Mark the only one who's good? Like, damn, he was equal in every other universe but this one. And that's what you learn in the comic books. Yes, absolutely. The answer, yes.
We got it in the show too. Angstrom mentioned it when we first saw him.
Yeah.
On the show.
Oh, yeah. Season 2, he mentioned it. There are no good Marks, which is why he was out. That's why he went and found one good Mark.
He's the Mortiest Morty.
He's the Mortiest Morty. We gotta see my doorbell been ringing. Let me go on out here and ring. Let me grab this right here. Yo, coming to the stage. It's your favorite producer's favorite producer is producer T.
What up, bro? You kind of called this, Bill. You said that he was going to come up. He's going to appear.
Oh, yeah. Man, I'm like really fucking good at predicting shit. So, no. So he's here. Not without any further ado. Terry, how'd you feel about this episode of Invincible, episode 7?
It's pretty good. I'm enjoying the Invincible War. That's what I was kind of hoping they'd do, is like they'd show like the Invincible War would end before the actual season finale would end, and we would get the start of the Viltrumite War, just kind of like how they do in the books. Because that's like the whole point of it was, guess what? Here's something real bad that happened to you. And guess what? Here's something real bad that's going to happen to you again. What the fuck are you going to do, Mark? So they kind of in.
What you gonna do, Mark?
One of the things,
First of all, I was absolutely right. See, he came on. He said,
right.
See, he said he liked it. So it's crazy. It's crazy how we got this dueling hatred / love. Because Terry be hating on certain shows though, but he loved this one. Yeah, so it's cool. That's 9 when the ones 9 love, Terry hate, and the ones Terry hate, 9 love. And I love it.
I know we both like Silo though.
Exactly. No, that's true.
I really, I've been really enjoying this episode as well. Man, I had a point, but I completely forgot it. But let's
read that.
Who's everyone? Did we go over who's everybody's favorite evil Mark?
Oh no, we did not. We did not yet. That's a great one to do. Fifth, I want to get these out of the way. Fifth Bantha said maybe there are other good ones, but he only enlisted the bad ones. Maybe Mark will find all the good ones. Nope. Ophelia says, so the only Marks that's good at fighting is the one
that's a really good thought, but it's wrong.
Yeah, Earth's fuck Jesus everyone. Nope. Also, no. That was easy.
This is it's definitely like I don't feel like any of these other Marks have been training in the gym, like shooting jumpers with Cecil, like other people.
Yeah, I think they mentioned that they're all like right when he got his powers. Yeah. All these people are right because nothing. What's to say that they stay evil, right? Maybe he had to go get them all at that moment. Because who's to say that they stay evil? Because we know Mark. Yeah, lines get blurred when you got to make certain decisions.
Yeah.
But he's not a time traveler, though.
Yeah, I was going to ask, does his power work like that?
His powers don't work at time.
What are you talking about?
Or do they work with time?
Space, not time?
It's space and time. Yeah. Angstrom works with space and time.
I mean, if it's like the Rick and Morty portals, it's space and time. But I don't know.
Does he?
This was pre.
I don't
know.
They mentioned what I'm saying. I'm not guessing at what I'm saying. I'm saying that's what they said in the show. So I don't know I don't know what the power says.
Actually, I don't even think it's
it ends up depending.
It doesn't matter.
It's dimensional.
It ends up depending on what his powers are. If he can like create wormholes, it's space and time. If he's just like tearing a portal between two dimensions. I think that might just be space, but theoretically he could find a dimension that's like started later. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, I thought it was literally just the exact space. Like if I open a portal directly here, it will go to any other universe, but directly where I'm at. Because remember one time he was like, I could just drop your mom and put her in the same universe, but one that's like 5 feet lower and she'll fall to her death. Remember he said that weird shit? So it's like
I do remember
always
that.
5 foot drop is not.
Well, no, it wasn't. It was like 5. I meant to say 5 stories. It was like I'll
break this bitch.
Break your ankles,
bitch. I will sprain.
Like you remember that part though? Like
I do remember that part, but I also remember them.
He was at.
I remember that part. I just remember them saying like these. I think it was Cecil. He said these appear to be. Him and Donald were talking about how these marks were younger and therefore easier for them to beat because
I don't remember him saying the words younger. I remember him just saying I think some of them are easier to beat than our mark.
Well, there's a reason that they're easier to beat is because they're younger. That's what I'm pretty positive that's what he said.
I 100% disagree.
To answer your question, Producer T, Omnimark is my favorite because he seems like the most like
Omnimark.
He seems like he's like that dude.
Omnimark. They're saying that's the same mark that paralyzed Adam Eve. Like Omnimark is that mark that we saw. The first evil mark, and he was like, "Oh, that's what you were doing with the protesters. You were paralyzing them." And that mark later on killed his father, which is why he's wearing the Omni-Man suit. So he's like the toughest one. Yeah, but I like prisoner. I like prisoner burnt up Mark. I like him. He was in prison, you know.
He seems weird. It was like you got some stories, man.
Yeah, that nigga was gross.
What about you, Nine? What's your favorite?
Bell Mark or Shiesty Mark, as some people want to call him.
I like black and yellow.
I love the design of black and yellow Mark the most.
That's basically all I'm going off of because they're all punk bitches.
Yeah, they're all marks, so it's hard for me.
Mohawk Mark.
Oh, do you have a favorite out of that? You got like maybe Mohawk Mark. He's like, they're all.
You don't like Mohawk Mark, or even my other like just aesthetically designed is Mustache Mark.
I do like Mustache Mark.
No, I don't like porn star, gay porn star Mark. No, I don't mess with gay porn star Mark. I don't mess with him.
But no, I'm team burnt up prison Mark.
Burnt up prison Mark. Burnt up prison Mark is crazy.
I told you, I hated all of them. They were fucking bitches. They wanted like a motherfucker.
Come on, Shiesty Mark, look at him. Shiesty, we're not Shiesty.
Yeah. I do like him.
At some point, you know, after
Ghostface Mark,
after 3 days of devastating all of Earth, Angstrom brings all of the marks over Debbie's house for phase 2, Marvel reference. When then all of the surviving Invincibles eventually turn on Angstrom. He traps them on a desolate Earth before battling Mark. I thought that this was like a really cool moment because, like, you know, like he like it just shows how smart Angstrom is and how he can get the better of these guys. And you think it's going to be like this whole huge conflict, but he just kind of gets.
Really, I really don't feel like Angstrom's outsmarting everybody. It just seems that people just keep forgetting what his powers are half the time. Like, is he really outsmarting people, or is it just seems like people just fucking forget what his power does?
His power's
like, as soon as he shows up above you, just be looking out for everywhere. Don't let him push you into something. Like he does portals. That's what he does. Like, damn, stop falling for that shit. Like I'd always have like, one hand on that nigga. Every time he was talking to me, I
stronger.
Like, what the fuck you say, bro?
He got more toys. I don't want to say he got stronger.
Yeah,
I think he just got more toys.
Well,
still, like
he did get stronger, but that he got stronger because they like put robotics in him. He's
right, but also those robotics came to bite him in the booty,
which makes me happy.
Yeah, Yeah. Oh well, sorry. Don't leave the pause. Don't leave the dead pause there when the man says it makes him happy. The booty get butt, get booty get bit. Y'all don't leave him hanging like that. God damn it! I refuse to let it happen.
Sorry. Mark does end up battling Angstrom. Mark overpowers and nearly kills Angstrom, but he escapes to the technicians minus one arm, advanced cybernetic surgeons who previously healed it.
That is something that I've been saying. Teleporters are the most powerful superpower there is, because just teleport like half a dude and he's dead. Teleport just his head somewhere. He's dead.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Except Angstrom's not that smart. He could have did that to Invincible like
That's what I'm saying. I don't think
million times.
Angstrom's that smart. People just keep forgetting
Well,
about it.
Well, he used to be that smart.
creativity.
He got the brain blow up thing, and now he's crazy. It's hard for him to pay attention. He's got like ADD mixed with
Like, why would
autism
your
and
plan be? Let me get all
like
the motherfuckers
swollen
I
brain.
hate together to
Nigga,
battle
got
that
all the
motherfucker I
fluid.
hate.
well,
That's
it's
what I
also
don't understand
hubris.
Like,
about
that's not a
character.
good plan. That
So
plan seems
stupid.
like, eventually they might just work
Nah.
together and beat your stupid
Get
ass.
a bunch of battle beasts.
No. That
But here's the
plan,
thing.
that's hyperbole.
His
Clearly
plan-
that part of the plan worked. That worked.
Did it?
Yeah, that's
Look at it though, like
Yeah,
Remember
he had a
his last
contingency. When you have a contingency for such things taking place, like you said, they could just whoop me. Oh well, okay, I got a situation for that, and they don't. Now they stuck where they at, and now I'm good.
It's kind of like that moment.
We tried that with the last Mark, and what happened? The nigga
You learn better.
got
He
his
didn't
ass
go behind. He
Okay,
didn't go
okay,
chasing
but
these.
that's-
and Mark escaped.
But
He
that's
learned.
what
He
it
said,
is.
"You're not gonna go chase these motherfuckers.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
like
just
I'm gonna leave
them
them there.
Okay,
Yeah, no, it
but
did feel
that's what it is. It's hubris, because if he wanted that first fight with Mark, he could have just left him in the dinosaur world. He could have just left him on the desert world. If he never went
Exactly.
back, the thing is, he wants to torture Mark,
There you go.
and that's because he's a fucking He's a sociopath, but it's weird because he's also sociopathic because like his Doc Ock arm control-y thing exploded on him. So all the thoughts came rushing in. So he can't remember that this isn't the same Invincible that destroyed all of his different worlds that he brought into his mind. He now feels them all as if they all happened specifically to him because something broke during the transfer, I guess.
Right, which makes his plan so much confusing that he wants to like even work with the other Marks. I was like, bro, why
That's
would
the
you
thing
even
that's
do
weird.
that as a plan? It seems like he would be like
It's-
capturing and killing these niggas.
It's not
one
weird
by
because
one.
That's
like
what we
Jeff
call
just,
stupid.
Jeff
Right.
just explained it though. Is all of the brains went together. So in his
I get
mind,
that,
all
and I'm saying that.
well,
it-
I'm
it
just
makes
saying
sense.
if that's the case, then all of them would see the one Mark as the one problem. He's not looking at these other Invincibles like they're a problem.
Okay,
I mean,
but
well,
I
I will say-
think
I will say-
the interesting part is that he's not trying to take his rage out on all of the evil Invincibles. It's just the one.
he's
That's
trying
the weird
just
part.
because he
That's
feels
the weird
like
part.
that
It
one
doesn't
is
make
the
sense.
one that fucked everything up. He
the way-
feels like that's the slighted Mark. That's his true nemesis,
That's
not the
weird.
other one.
And
Ridiculous.
one way I definitely see it is that, because like it's very clear that he already had a plan to he's like, oh, I thought they would betray me earlier or betray me later than they did.
Later, yeah.
Like he always planned to just like shoot them into
This was his whole plan the entire time.
So like I feel like that's just like a very quick revenge on all the Marks that actually did you wrong. Like these are all the Marks from all the universes that you actually remember. It's like I can go ahead and get rid of y'all quick, but
the one that I
this
hate,
is the one he has a very
I want
personal.
to ruin his life because he's the good one. I can't just go and try to kill him. I have to go ruin his life, ruin his reputation, ruin everything about him because I'm probably not gonna be able to kill him. And then I can send these other motherfuckers on somewhere with their goddamn self. Because I've been trying to tell y'all I'm done with this shit. See, and I think that's more so what it is. Like Angstrom just gets, like any super duper villain, his hubris, like Jeff said, just gets in his way. He makes stupid decisions. It's like telling your whole plan. Like, you know what I'm saying? When villains tell their whole goddamn plan.
Oh
like,
God,
monologuing.
He's monologuing. Yeah.
If I was him, I would have just got like 2 battle beasts, and then it's over. You know?
just grab a couple from
You
Walmart.
can't have
yeah.
two battle bees because they would just fight each other.
You're right. Yeah. Just kidding.
They would never
It's like when you
do
put
anything.
mantis shrimp together, they just murder.
I don't think Battle Beast eats, but anyway.
Speaking of two people meeting, I just want to talk about this last scene in the aftermath of Angstrom's attack. An aged Viltrumite envoy named Conquest arrives to survey Mark's subjugation of Earth for the Viltrum Empire, and is disappointed by his lack of progress, devastated by the destruction.
Lack of progress is funny.
Like, bro, do you see this place? Fuck the world up.
Mark got a poor performance.
He could have totally like faked the funk on this. But devastated by the destruction and deaths directed at him, Mark charges at Conquest to vent his rage. Now, I just do want to just like show this clip of their meeting of the first time.
I swear to God.
Liz, thank you. Oh, our nips just touched. Mine are so hard.
Mine are different sizes.
I hate the fact that it mutes my mic. Like, how fucking dare you? And I think that's what
mutes everybody's mic.
Yeah, it mutes everyone's mic. I think that's the most insulting part about the clip. Is that we are all powerless.
I
Didn't see that coming.
have no mouth yet.
Signed the Mark with the bleach blonde hair and the big hard titties to come and beat your ass. Doing this to us all every god. Oh God. Othelius, I'm sorry. Fifth Bantha, go ahead, throw out my favorite clip. I hate you all.
All of you.
Well, yeah, Conquest came down there and he was all like, "Hello, worm. Have you got that planet yet? It is I, Conquest." Why is everybody making fun of his voice? I didn't think the voice was bad, but
I thought his voice was fine.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, is that the discourse? People talking about
that is the discourse. That is what I'm seeing for them.
Man,
So
let
they're
me
hating
just say
Conquest's
something,
voice.
man.
And I'm like, you've never heard this nigga talk ever.
Can I say something, y'all?
But before you say
That
anything, I just want
page
to say
didn't
that
sound like this.
this actor is Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who is playing Conquest, Walking Dead
awesome.
alum.
Yep,
But
I don't get it.
That's pretty awesome.
And Supernatural.
It is, Glenn and Negan.
Can I just say something, man?
What's that?
Y'all motherfuckers is some straight up bitches. If you sitting around your house talking about what was wrong with Conquest's voice? He wasn't. What do you sound like, nigga? Oh, stupid ass nigga. You probably fucking still live at your mama house masturbating right now to my voice. Shut your dumb ass up.
Whoa.
God damn it. I don't understand. This is like you just said earlier.
No.
The nigga premiered on a motherfucking comic book. How the fuck do you think he's supposed to sound?
I think
Goddamn, he basically almost sounds like Omni-Man. So what the fuck is the difference?
I think there's a dude like doing these TikToks that have gotten famous, and people got used to whatever voice he was using.
Right
For describing the character.
That makes y'all even bigger.
Sounds stupid. It sounds stupid as fuck.
Makes all y'all dumb bitches even
The
more.
internet. What do you expect from the internet?
My arrival, worm.
I thought it sounded pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it sounded good.
Stand for my arrival, worm. That shit.
People are saying
rocked.
it's too high and too raspy.
Stand ready for my arrival, worm.
Yeah, I hear it. Like I think he sounds good.
No,
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah.
And I'm not even a Jeffrey D. Morgan fan. I kind of don't like most of his performances, but
Yeah, I don't care
like,
about
God damn.
really
hiss.
good. No, I never been a huge fan of his, but I thought that he was like, he's a really great voice actor. In fact, doing a really great voice acting performance here.
If that's what you're sitting around worried about, boy, you's goddamn bored. Sitting around here worried about what this nigga voice is like. Dead ass. How about the fact that these two shots, this last shots are basically panel for panel. Okay, like these are comic book moments that they recreate, and they're fucking awesome.
Stand for my arrival.
When he said "stand for my arrival, worm," I was like, "Conquest."
Well, I will say this.
It is over, son. It's
I will say this.
next episode is up.
I haven't even seen how it looks like in the comics, but I guarantee you it looks better in the comics.
I mean, it does, but yeah,
No,
we've been
fuck
saying
all
that.
that.
I just finished this.
So I'm sorry. Wait.
This weekend.
You got it. You got it, Jeff.
9. What flavor haterade is that?
There it is.
By the way.
Yeah,
There you
it looks cooler. It looks cooler.
Gatorade. All the hate.
Yeah, because he's like flying more.
That's a weird way
He
to
looks more
the same.
He looks more imposing.
It looks like he's jumping. He don't look like he's flying.
And,
more
you know,
imposing.
it's unique, like that this is an episode, like usually the penultimate episode of a show, if they have like a big moment like this, like in Invincible War, like compared to like Game of Thrones, where we had the Red Wedding. It was the penultimate episode, and then there was just like a lot of shit that just like sort of tied things up in the last episode. And this last episode, we're gonna get another Red Wedding. So it's crazy that like we're just following up one crazy event with another. I think that's one of the more awesome things about this, the cliffhanger for this episode, and what's gonna come for
Actually, it's a quadruple threat event that keeps happening to them on world-ending levels.
Yeah.
Extemporize.
No, please don't.
That's
we don't have time. We don't have any time for extemporization.
I was just gonna say we're just gonna see some old familiar friends come back in force.
Okay. Yeah. Like,
Yes.
yeah. Actually, yeah. We'll. I'm very excited to see how the rest of this season is going to flesh out.
Shout out to everybody drunk Banthas who dipped.
What should we go, funny or sad coming up next? What do you think?
What, we're going drunk. We're going Daredevil.
Okay. Yeah, let's just we're doing Daredevil.
We're doing Daredevil.
We're doing Daredevil Born Again, the first 2 episodes. This show
That's why we got to get to the shits. I was like, no extra or anything.
No, I mean, like, yeah, what show are we gonna do? But,
no. I was talking about extemporized.
Oh, extemporization. Yeah, like, so who actually watched Daredevil Born Again? I guess I should ask since 9 sees the low. Donald.
What's up? Yeah.
What is up? Like, were you? Like, I guess, like, first say, were you a big fan of the Netflix Daredevil series? And also, like, what did you think? Just thoughts on these first 2 episodes.
For the immediate first thought with this, I was not happy. That first fight scene, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to do the traditional. This is an issue the good Marvel shows have. And when I say the good ones, I mean basically this one, Jessica Jones, at least Jessica Jones season 1, Punisher, where they find one thing that's dope and works. And they're like, well, we got to do that every season. So, like, yeah, that first season, that hallway fight, fucking amazing. And then they just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And then this episode, this season opens with like the extended vertical hallway fight. But there was so much fucking CGI. It sucked and I couldn't enjoy it. I was so angry, especially when they're on the roof. The entire background looked, you know what it looked like? It looked like it was torn straight out of the Sin City movies. And it was so distracting and so fucking annoying, which is even more aggravating when we end the second episode with, okay, you can still do fight scenes. What the fuck happened earlier? Anyway, I started off upset. I ended up happy. And I will also say the way the reveal and hint we get to where things are going in the second episode makes me excited for the direction of the series and then the tie-ins.
Well, what about you, Nine? What did you think these first 2 episodes? And also, what did you think of the Netflix Daredevil fan?
So I haven't seen. Well, I didn't finish the Netflix Daredevil, but I do know the fight scene. And I've only watched the first episode of.
So wait a minute. Did you watch? Wait a minute. Hold on.
I've only seen the first episode of Born Again.
Okay.
And I liked it. So, I quite liked it.
Look, man,
and I think I liked it because
confused.
it didn't feel like you had to watch the previous stuff.
Yeah, no, you know what?
Very
So I was
true.
like,
Definitely
I'm
true.
in it, yeah. So I was just kind of in it, and I was like, this is a lot better than a lot of the more recent Marvel. I mean, Disney Marvel stuff.
I was talking to the fifth Bantha
Also
earlier
true.
today, and I was saying the same thing, similar things. I was just like, also, I think that maybe the embargo had a lot to do with why Marvel TV just wasn't good, like because they were trying to recreate what Netflix was able to do, or at least what the producers who were doing the shows while they were on Netflix. I think that they were having a lot of trouble recreating that because like there was an embargo. They could not. It is.
Oh yeah,
it's a Deadpool flask.
That's
Deadpool
amazing.
2 specifically.
Nice. But
Deadpool 2 is my favorite one.
But yeah, I just feel like
Get behind that.
What we were already used to as far as comic book TV separated from the big world of Marvel Universe, that was already there, and they weren't able to recreate it over at Disney. But now
they were also a bit handcuffed by the ratings restrictions.
Exactly, and I think now that that's all moved over to Disney and Hulu's all on Disney, and it's all just one thing now.
Yeah.
It's going to be way easier for them to get around all of those violent situations coming up with shows in the future. But also, now we can get the shows that we wanted in the first place. Now we can get our Jessica Joneses back. Now we can get our Luke Cages back. And then we can probably recast Iron Fist and maybe pretend that it didn't happen. And we're definitely going to
You don't want the Night of Flowers? The Flower Night?
Oh,
Whatever the fuck his name is?
Flowers of night flowers.
Producer T, what about you? What were your initial thoughts on the premiere of Daredevil Born Again? And did you like Daredevil?
Or did you not watch it? Oh.
I did not watch it, of course. Like,
I was thinking
have Disney Plus, and I don't make it a priority to get any of the new Disney or Star Wars shows hardly ever.
That is fair.
I knew somebody wasn't gonna have watched it, and we basically got 1.5.
We brought our bit back.
Yeah.
Producer, did you like the Netflix Daredevil series? Were you excited about the show at all, or were you,
I almost wanted to watch them this weekend because I did like the Daredevil Netflix series. I really liked what's his face as Kingpin,
Charlie Cox.
Oh yeah, Vincent.
Oh, I'm sorry, Vincent D'Onofrio.
Don't threaten Vanessa. He don't bring his mother in there.
He's doing a weird voice. Yeah, I love it.
He looks like he's just, it looks like that weight's getting to him and he's breathing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, scary.
I said that when I was watching it.
He had that old, like the Spider-Man animated series vibes to it. Like he was Wilson Fitz to me. I was getting that. So, yeah, I might download it if you guys say it's pretty cool. I think I might eventually end up watching this one.
It's definitely worth it since you're going to do it for free.
I agree.
So yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was pretty rad. It's interesting watching
Vanessa.
a lot. I watched a lot of the Daredevil Netflix series, just like rewatching before watching Daredevil Born Again, and like aesthetically, like nothing's really touching the Netflix series. I don't know what I meant to look up the DP. Yeah, like the director of photography is like really in his bag in that one, or whoever established the aesthetic for that show, because it just really is a step beyond anything that this show is doing. But like, because there's some scenes that are shot a little flat, and there are some scenes that could very much look like it was shot on a Universal lot, and yet not like Jeff was saying, like that fight scene on the rooftop and even on the sidewalk with Karen looked really fucking fake.
Yeah,
but then they pulled it back.
The area in any way, shape, or form.
What?
No character to any of the set in any way, shape, or form. But that's because it was mostly CGI, which at least
they already fixed it by episode 2.
I'm just saying, at least in that, and I think it was because there wasn't any CGI used in episode 2, but in that when they used it, they were at least able to show they didn't have the blemish issues that we would have because they had the smoke, like you said, it was night.
Yeah.
They at least tried to cover up anything that would have been glaringly just like, oh my God, the first 15 minutes of this fucking show is this bullshit.
Yeah, and honestly, if the story element wasn't so strong, I probably would have like that cold open wouldn't have hit as hard for me.
Alex was just happy they killed Foggy.
Spoilers. No, yeah, actually, yeah. Let's get into the.
I mean, it's the first 10 minutes.
No, yeah,
it's literally the first 14 minutes of the show.
Yeah, the beginning of this episode, we do get like the reunification of Murdoch. I forget the three. It's Foggy, Matt, and Karen. I was gonna try to remember the name of the firm. Couldn't remember. But
it's Murdoch and Murdoch now.
Murdoch and Page.
Murdoch, Page, and whatever Foggy's last name is. Nelson.
Dead. Oh yeah. Murdoch, Nelson, and Page.
But then all of a sudden, we see Bullseye has returned, the villain of season 3, and he kills Foggy and almost kills Karen before Murdoch shows up and has a nice fight scene. Like our classic hallway fight scene. And then after Matt hears that Foggy's
Hashtag kill Karen.
Hashtag kill Karen. But no, we'll talk about hashtag kill Sabine in this scene for sure. Like after hearing Foggy pass, after hearing that his heartbeat expires, he throws Bullseye off of the roof.
Throw?
He gently pushes him off.
Exactly. That's not.
He's like,
because
I thought it was a nice,
more so like let him go.
It was an emotional push. It was an emotional.
It was like, no, you know what?
That was a Catholic.
Might as well have been caressing his balls.
Yeah, it felt more like, you know what? I'm done with you. Fuck all this. Let's go.
Yeah.
Just go.
He was trying to shoo a fly away and accidentally knocked Bullseye off the roof.
Exactly. And then he cried because he's Catholic. Irish Catholic, he's gonna fucking cry. Just come on, we know this.
I'm obviously a hater of this actor as Foggy. I feel like Jon Favreau is a way better Foggy in Daredevil Ben Affleck movie.
First, that's not fair. Talking about a legacy. Talking about a dude, if there was a Hall of Fame for film, he would. Favreau is in it twice.
Johnny Favs.
Maybe 3-4 times already. Like, get out of here. Don't be disrespectful like that.
It's a hard bar to clear. I'll give him that, but he's not clearing it for me. And I never really liked
It's not
him
a bar that doesn't
actor.
exist. That bar doesn't exist. Favreau is the god. Favreau is the god.
But I...
Listen, you can hate. We get that you were always a Falcons fan and you never thought the Mighty Ducks should have won, but you don't got to hate on it this long, man. Let it go.
Okay? Let it go.
I loved him in Mighty Ducks, but I beyond like my hate for like the actor and as the character, I really thought this was like a really emotionally evocative moment, and like we said during Ahsoka, hashtag Kill Sabine. This is the kind of risk we would hope that Disney Plus would take on their shows, where they would kill a beloved character at the beginning, just to show that there are some stakes and just put our characters in some sort of peril. Nine, what did you think of this opening scene with just like the fight scene and also just like the really devastating moment with Foggy passing?
It wasn't devastating to me. Because again, very loosely watched the original Daredevil. So it's not really like a huge moment for me, but I do agree that like it's like, oh yeah, they're killing people out here.
How'd your kids out of work?
But I like the fight. I like the fight. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Maybe I'm just a mid.
I did not dislike the fight. I thought it was a crazy ass 14 minutes. I just understand where they're coming from. This is one issue that I had with the fight, like for real. Like it took me like 2 minutes to realize that they was throwing shit at each other. And
it took me a minute.
Honestly, yeah, it's not until you were like, is something going on with Matt's costume? It's like, no, he just has like a fork sticking out of him.
Exactly. He just got a fork sticking out of his chest.
I do think,
and then I just it was like right here when I realized, like, Oh, okay.
Here's the other thing:
I was
they're
like,
both better fighters than to let each other just toss steak knives in each other's chest.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things I thought that was like pretty interesting, because I was like, I could even with all the smoke, I could tell that he was deflecting a lot of them. So I was like, damn, that many hit him in the chest, and he was deflecting like maybe 70% of those. But I do feel like one critique of just like the fight scene, because I really liked it, but I feel like there was a little bit too much CGI smoke. I don't know what kind of like safety
they need. That they did that because they want you to see all the bullshit. The other, I'm telling you, they was not there. That was not them fighting. That was CGI until they get on them steps.
No, I think that they were there, but I think that the CGI smoke, like just because of like the way, like it has like a CGI wash over the.
I understand what you're saying,
everything,
but I know there wasn't them because I could see it when they were doing spin kicks and shit. That wasn't them niggas. That wasn't anybody. That was because it was that wobble. CGI action has a wobble, like animation, and it's kind of like very subtle. But if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That wobble was there way too much, and you can tell it, especially if you're watching it on like at an angle on your television for some reason. I don't know. It's like you get the wobble, and I know that shit was just. So I like everything that I'm saying, plus what you're saying is the reason that you're taken out of it. I understand why you're taken out of it,
and I think that's why, like when they're in the stairwell, it looks like sort of the best, and like that's
exactly.
When you're like, oh shit, that's when he's got knives in his chest.
Exactly, that's when you can start actually 100%. Realizing what the fuck is going on. Exactly,
because that's when they did glue some real knives to that costume.
Donald,
and I will say, in their defense. Frank Miller wrote both Daredevil and Sin City, so that's why they're like, "Hey, let's just take some for the Sin City movie. No one will notice.
Take something. Just take something."
What did you think of like just this opening scene and like the Foggy's passing?
Well, so
that's nice.
I'm upset because if the fight scene hadn't like just kind of put me off as much as it did, Foggy's passing would have hit me harder, because I do like that actor. I do like that character of Foggy. I like how he was Matt's moral compass in a lot of this. And so that was so powerful having him die like that. And it being from Bullseye. I mean, Bullseye, one of the biggest moments in comics in general is Bullseye killing Elektra in front of Daredevil. And I mean, that one's insane. He stabs her with her own side. So I mean, like, yeah, it's a very powerful moment. And I'm telling you, he barely pushed. But anyway.
I'm still my defendant did not push him, Your Honor.
It is a little it, however, doesn't hit as much because you know that this actor is we've all seen Idle Hands. He's able to just come back as a zombie, like he sees the light, he's like, fuck it, and he just comes back. So Foggy's gonna be fine.
He's gonna be fine.
Best movie
one of the best movies ever made.
Best movie ever made. Yeah, I'm not mad at that either.
I don't know. That one, Mighty Ducks, Butterfly Effect. I don't know. It's a three-way tie.
Oh, that's right. Butterfly Effect as well. He's made some good shit. He was in a great episode of Psych.
He's a good actor. I like him.
Alex, I don't even know why he keeps saying he likes him. I don't know why he's
I love him. No, I like. I don't love him. I like him as an actor.
See, it keeps going down. See how
it stays right here.
See how it keeps going down. Like,
I mean, like, I guess I'd piss on him if he was on fire.
No, man, let's keep talking yourself into this hole. Let's just move on. What are we talking about, Alex?
Yes. So like then we fast forward. After Foggy has died, Matt has officially given up being Daredevil, and he has.
It's my wife.
He's also sort of revealed his identity to retired cop Cherry. And him and Deborah Ann Wall. I forget what the character is.
Cherry from The Wire.
From The Wire. Yeah, he's a newspaper writer on The Wire. Great actor.
Fucking phenomenal.
Don't remember his name. It's not important.
No,
it's very important. I just don't want.
That's not important.
Keep going.
I'll
figure it out.
Exactly. Continue.
Then we get to kind of see a well-adjusted Matt Murdock, and it kind of makes me think of
Clark Johnson.
Clark Johnson. Friend of the show.
Clark Johnson, great actor. Yeah, what did you guys think of just like this new
I'm
status
gonna go
quo
with it.
for Matt Murdock, where he's
I don't like
he's
how
giving up the-
everybody's talking about this new Matt Murdock is. This nigga ain't doing nothing different. There's literally nothing being like, I don't know, like, okay, they know
Except
him
not
this
being there.
1 year. They've known him, they've been with him. We weren't. But I didn't see anything. They didn't show us what he go to get coffee at a different place. He got a better suit. Like he wears better clothes or something. The braille is better on his books. Or something. How do we know that his cane is shinier?
He got new glasses.
Exactly. Like I'm saying, like it's like
That's
Superman
like in
and Clark
She's All
Kent.
That when they part the hair on the other side. I mean, come on.
Well, I'm
It's
sure
the beauty that
there's-
was underneath.
I'm sure that there's some sort of representation. Like, you know, he's probably not showing up late as much. He's probably not showing up with bruises.
I'm not talking about that. Like that, yeah, that's the part. Like I said, that's the things
So-
that I said that they obviously they've seen somehow, but we haven't. But how is that supposed to be? They say it several times because they clearly know they're not going to show us and haven't shown us.
So one thing that would be different, like they don't show us or tell us, but I mean, like it just makes sense that it would be different since he's not out there daredeviling it up. He has more time to put into being a good lawyer. So I mean, he's actually just doing his job as opposed to his daredevil volunteer work, which is assault.
Yeah, right. Instead of taking pro bono cases, making actual money.
He's like, it's like when they're like, you know, if Bruce Wayne just like was an actual philanthropist, he'd do way more good. That's what Matt's doing with the law.
Yeah.
Right.
And we see him do this a lot in the comics where he gives it up because just like guilt for whatever really sad situation that happens in his life.
More recent series where he accidentally kills someone and he actually submits himself to prison.
Damn. That's extra guilt. But that's like right in line with his.
We try to tell my white friends, let that guilt go, man. Some of y'all do better if you just
go plant a tree or something. You don't got to go to prison.
Yeah, you don't got to go to prison.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And never mind. I just continue. Remind me after this to tell you about black spaces. Okay. That was a thing. Okay, black spaces. Okay.
All right.
I thought you were going to say Black Spacey. I don't know why.
Black Kevin Spacey.
There's one out there. Kevin Spacey got a black kid somewhere.
You imagine Frank Underwood with black. I'm having so many things in my head.
Yep.
Kevin Spacey got a black side. Well, at least he does now. We started here. Everybody.
Cave on, Spacey.
We need to break
it. See what you did, Jeff?
We need that breaking news ticker going across.
Breaking news. Cave on Spacey. Sorry. On the other side of the fence we have Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. Like we see that he is being like he's trying to
run for mayor. He's running for mayor.
Yeah,
he's running for mayor after he got shot in the dome.
Yeah, he's
sympathy vote.
He's
tough. He gets things done.
Not similar to anything in real life.
Not at all.
No, it wasn't a little bit too much like reality and almost took me out of the fun of the show.
You now see, yeah.
What did you guys think of just like him meeting back up with Vanessa and him trying to be mayor? And then someone else alludes later.
You said it wrong.
Oh, sorry, I pronounced it wrong.
Just tap me when you need me to say it.
What did you think about him wanting to be mayor again and also meeting up with Vanessa
for the first time?
For the first time. Nite, you saw this episode.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty awesome. I don't know if anybody watched Echo instead of us, but that's what they were setting up to. And it is quite nice. I like the role for him, and I was like wondering, like, how are they really going to get him to run the city like that? But it actually kind of makes sense. It actually kind of makes sense, to be honest. And all I gotta say is that he's got my vote.
Oh damn! Wow. So you be voting for Well, look, who would be better?
I believe in
him?
Harvey Dent.
Would it be who would be better better mayor, him or the current mayor of New York? Like,
I think he would actually.
I think he's got less crimes.
He does. He actually has less charges, but he's actually been to prison though. So I don't know. Like we got, it's like
So he's got that street cred.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought up this scene specifically because this is the scene that I felt like was right up to this moment. I was like, this is kind of fucking boring. This whole goddamn show is pretty much fucking boring. But when they had this scene, they basically made fun of themselves, made fun of Disney, made fun of Echo, make fun of everything all at one moment. Because we get this moment where he mentions Kingpin mentions that, you know, he had other people who have let him down and whatever the fuck. And that's when Matt Murdock mentions, like, oh yeah, didn't she shoot you in the face? And they look at each other for like 2 seconds, and then they both start laughing.
Well,
I was like, this.
Matt looks at the wall.
But yeah, well, technically, Matt ain't looking at nothing like that.
Right.
But yeah, they both have this moment of pause, and then they bust out laughing. And I swear to God, I was like, I'm so fucking glad they did that. Like, let's just state the obvious and move on very quickly. Something Disney has usually they've been pretty good about that. If I have to say anything, like they are pretty good about transitioning from another actor to something else, or like transitioning from one storyline, like, we're dumping that, we moving on to a different thing. They're pretty good about that. I don't know what it takes to make that, for you to be good at that, but this portion of it made me feel like, okay, maybe this is going to be going in the right direction. What did y'all think about this scene here?
I loved the scene so much. I mean, for every reason that you said, but also just because, like, they're just great. They're just great in their roles together.
Agreed. And it also had an undertone to it where, like those old samurai Western flicks where, like, the two rivals are sitting across from each other, and you're like, this could break into violence very quickly at any time.
Yeah.
But they're just talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everything about this scene is the acting, the writing, the directing, the director of photography. Everything about this scene is done perfectly.
Yeah, I agree. What do you guys feel about one thing I noticed about the Kingpin in this one is that he's got way bigger Twitch tick than he did in the previous seasons.
Yeah, well, he got shot in the face.
No scarring. No scarring whatsoever.
He's got like a little bit right on the corner.
Is that what that is? You think that's from?
I do. Because when they said that, I was like trying to search for it on him, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah. See, yeah, because I was like, is that it? It was like at end of episode 2, I was like, is that scarring? But it was like really bad scarring. What movie were we watching recently where they had bad scarring on the eye? It was like, it doesn't hold up bad.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, it was Daredevil.
Oh.
It was Daredevil. It doesn't hold up.
Ben Affleck's makeup.
His eyes are supposed to be scarred from acid, and the motherfucker looked like he got Visine on his peeling off. Oh man.
By the way, Laura, hi. It's no, you know what? We all got to work late sometimes. If you watched Daredevil Born Again, that's what we're talking about right now. Laura's in the chat. She missed Severance.
Oh, Laura. What up, Laura? How's it going? Sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat. Well, yeah. You just check it out.
Brazilian fan.
Sorry,
I don't know if I'll be able to get the timestamps in before you start watching, but it doesn't matter. Jeff's Comic Book Corner was fire this week anyway. There's balls, so I'll put it like that.
They're censored.
There's balls.
Yeah.
I think it's also important to point out they're not mine.
To find
No,
out
no,
who's
no, no,
balls.
no, yeah, no.
think
They
that
find
that's
out whose
very-
balls, right? They gotta find it out.
The real show is behind the curtain.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
God, if that's not a Ginyu Force fighter.
I do want to talk about like the production of this movie. I mean, this show for a little bit because it is really interesting how it all came together, like butt cheeks. Because like they did film 6 episodes of this show before they just kind of like scrapped it all. Apparently, Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox went to like production management, and they were just like, "This show
sucks.
is not hidden." And they just kind of just like pulled an idol
Vincent D'Onofrio.
where they redid the whole show. So, and you know, we saw how
But
the idol
decided not to
turned
make it a Zillow ad.
Right.
But
right.
also, we actually, so interestingly enough, we might not have gotten that rewrite if it wasn't for the writers and actors strikes, because that's when they went back and rewatched the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Which is crazy. It's like, do they not do the dailies anymore? Because
I guess they don't.
They don't.
Not at
dude.
Marvel.
No, they don't anywhere, dude. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. And I've been listening to a lot of older actors speak on their process and like process of filming a movie and filming their TV shows that they were part of, the iconic movies and TV shows that they were part of. And not one of them went an hour without mentioning the dailies, at least at very least one time.
Yeah.
Saying like, oh, I got discovered because people were watching the dailies of this movie that I was in, and like they really liked me, so I ended up getting this and that. Like, they clearly don't look at the dailies anymore, because for those who don't know what the dailies are where you get every single day they film that film, or you know, that those scenes go to the production staff and they sort through what the editor has kind of loosely put together and decide like, okay, this is looking good, we're liking that, or get rid of this scene because that was terrible, don't know what the fuck y'all doing, whatever it is. You get to look at the dailies. Maybe it's nothing that you say towards it, but clearly if you're having this many reshoots and rewrites, and like Nigga Bird movie was supposed to be out a year before it came out, and it's because they said, well, this movie sucks, we're gonna go ahead and just reshoot all of this.
And this is the one that they decided to put. Okay. You know what? I'm just pulling that one back.
Yeah, you know, but at the same time, that's what's happened with, you know, most of these Marvel movies. Every Marvel movie we've hated and not seen, Blade, is having this issue. But I'm liking that we're so far so good, no issues with this show. It seems like we're getting back on the saddle in the right ways.
Yeah, and
All the right ways.
Daredevil is an interesting monster in and of itself, because like even Daredevil Netflix, they went through 4 showrunners through 3 seasons. So and like somehow
that's because Netflix don't be paying. Goddamn.
It's like, what? This is my first paycheck. I can't get jiggy with this shit.
I can talk about that I'll talk about that on the Bantha Bun show for real. I'll come on Thursday.
But yeah, like, but somehow like that tone ended up being pretty consistent throughout all 3 seasons. And this show, like, despite, you know, like some of my nitpicks, it's been pretty good. But yeah, then we continue on. What is the other big
blow by that one?
Well, Fisk wins the mayor off. The mayor.
Matt's got a girlfriend. Matt's got a girlfriend.
Boom.
2, White Tiger is now. I'm sorry, White Tiger is out and about in New York City.
Out in a boot in New York.
Which, if you don't know, White Tiger is another Marvel superhero, ends up in New York a lot. Check out the cartoon show Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man and Friends, or something like that, represented by the female version of White Tiger in that, along with a young Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
Real quick question.
42.
Jeff, have you watched the new Spider-Man cartoon?
I haven't. I honestly, I forgot it came out.
Same. Somebody better watch it. We're gonna be getting an interview with those people soon. Somebody need to watch that goddamn show. By the way, if any of y'all want to join
Friendly
us,
Neighborhood, right?
Yeah, friendly neighborhood.
Your friendly neighborhood.
Me and Alex.
It's your friendly neighborhood. Well, then fuck that. I'm out.
I don't want no family neighborhood Spider-Man.
If I want some friendly neighborhood shit, I'm gonna watch Bluey like a normal person.
Like a normal person. Like a normal.
By the way,
person.
we can all agree, Bingo way better than Bluey.
Where does Nine's name come from? Laura asks. Laura's like, nigga, what's your name? Nine for?
Well, because you said the other one.
9 Nerd Yards is the channel that he has, and that's where you can check him out on a full-time basis. You should go over there and subscribe.
We are legion.
His Atlanta breakdowns are amazing, and if you haven't watched that show, one, it's one of the best shows, and two, his breakdowns are a real good way to jump into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I was
definitely.
Yeah,
she means the philosopher thing.
The philosopher thing.
Oh, mean the philosopher, the barbershop variety? Is that what you mean?
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
actually also an Atlanta thing. So
when
it's also an Atlanta thing.
He was bulletproof while working and trying to keep it like all hush hush. So he was sweeping hair in a barbershop, and he was really philosophizing a lot.
Well, he's
also very Marvel / Netflix.
What you don't understand, Laura, is there used to be 9 tempers at least. And now
I had all of them.
Nine recognizes the old ways.
Yes.
But as you mentioned, Jeff, there is in the second episode of Daredevil, we see that Matt Murdock is representing the White Tiger after he was in his civilian clothes. He accidentally killed a man. Very
not just a man, a policeman.
Policeman,
which happens to the best of us.
Yeah, you know,
happens all the time.
Look, those guys should identify themselves after the nigga ran. At the very least, you can start.
They also
like, hey,
should have
police.
not been doing police brutality.
Boom.
Yeah. It's a very Condor meets Andor situation. Oh, sorry, Con Air meets.
No. See,
put down the bunny.
And they're never going to clip this. The AI is not going to clip this. It's going to clip half of Jeff saying "put down the bunny."
Fucking AI.
God, AI ain't shit.
But yeah, like, what did you guys think of just like this interesting situation where Matt Murdock has given up being a vigilante, but now he is representing a vigilante?
I'll go first because mine's quick. I was like, yo, this is fucking stupid. I hate and I was like, oh, here we go. Whole season of I don't want to be the Daredevil. I don't want to do the job. I don't want to be the title fucking card of the fucking show. I hate that shit. That shit pissed me off.
Invincible.
Sounds like goddamn. Sounds like Spider-Man. Like, I'll just get tired of that shit, dude. That shit is once in the comic books does this shit happen, and we got to do it 3-4 times
It
every
happens
season.
all the time with Spider-Man. It's like every 2 years they're like, "What should we do for story?" I know.
I'm talking about Daredevil. And with Daredevil, they've done it already 2-3 times in this series. Like, oh, I'm done.
Like
well,
I said,
motherfucker really quit then.
like I said, in the more recent storyline, he accidentally kills someone, so then he surrenders himself to prison. But he's still very much Daredevil in prison.
Right, exactly.
He's fucking people up in the yard.
And you know what is?
I'm just talking about not wanting to don the cow.
Right, and I think
that like that
because
the cow.
No, like with this episode, it definitely felt more like a legal drama than anything, except for like the last 10 minutes of the episode. And it did make me think about reading the production problems at first, because apparently most of it was like 22 episodes at first. Like, if you remember when they announced it was going to be 22 episodes,
which I was happy about. And
also they said that you wouldn't see Daredevil until like in costume until like the last few episodes, and it was going to be mostly a legal drama. And I was like,
No,
that
would have been exactly what I just described. Where it was where I don't want to. I miss my wife. I miss my wife.
That's too long. And I like since they decided they were going to rehash the whole show, it does give me faith that like this isn't going to be the whole show. This is just like a really good, solid legal drama episode with some Daredevil funk at the end.
Just wait. Next episode, they're going to open up. It's going to dong, dong, and then you're just going to go right into and with some executive producer Dick Wolf. I'll say this, though. I did actually enjoy how this went down with Matt. One, the fact that he didn't know that it was White Tiger he was representing, but we're seeing some of the I like how like he's defeated as Daredevil, but we see it still creeping in the sense of he senses a true injustice and he can't ignore it, which he easily could have. I mean, it was at the end of the fucking hall. He was done with his client.
Yeah,
actually, no, he wasn't. He was like, I'm done with you. Stop talking. I'm gonna go help that guy because it's one of those things where like. Even though he wants to leave Daredevil behind, he can't. It's a part of him. And I like that this is the way of pulling it back in. I also liked how when he found out this guy's White Tiger, he was actually a little pissed at him. He was like, God damn it.
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that.
Son of a bitch.
Because I think he was mad at himself.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, why the fuck didn't you realize he was the Black Cat Dragon before he but the reason I say that is because he's usually good at picking up on your lapel has this on. Like, he's like she's like Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah,
but he's never seen White Tiger before, so
I know, but he could. There's things that he would pick up on. He smells like this. They did that a lot, at least in the first Netflix
again, I mean,
series. And I think it's to the point.
He's letting it go.
Exactly. And I'm saying to your point about him being so angry, I think that it was like a little bit directed towards himself, like he was a little bit of a projection. Because at the end, he's like, "All right, well, let's get these motherfuckers." Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I did like that, he made the decision to represent him before he realized he was a vigilante. And, like where like Cherry's argument that is like, I feel like you're just a little too close to this. He's like, well, he had already committed fully to taking on this case before he found out he was vigilante. So I don't think that argument really holds water. But I also really liked how
they just needed somebody who could really deliver lines well to tell him, man, you sure you want to do this?
But I also really like how just like we're sliding in just like the fantastical stuff a little bit more. Like we did it very poorly in Defenders with the Netflix series. But like I just like how
Daredevil's believable, Punisher's believable. This is all believable. Here's a dragon.
I don't know what y'all mean.
Oh my gosh, that was poorly done. But I like how he was just like, I didn't have my magic amulet on. It's no big deal. I
was a normal person.
He said that like it's in the news. Like,
everybody knows about my magic amulet.
White Tiger.
I don't know why, but my immediate thought was I don't know why, but my immediate thought was Dumbo and his feather.
That is a weird place to go.
Yeah, I get it, and I get that it is the amulet. That's what gives all of the White Tigers their power. But it was just, I don't know why. I was just like, it's like no one fucking knows what you're talking. I like Daredevil realize it.
It's like if Spider-Man.
And let's remember, not Daredevil. He just assumes Matt knows because he's a fucking
just that guy.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Is it in the news? Does someone seen?
Did they not go over this on the LSAT?
Yeah, he doesn't even seem like he's that like popular because like even when Kingpin's making his like address to the media after he's won mayor, he's like, we don't need these fucking spider folks and daredevils out here running and people with skulls on the chest running through the streets. He doesn't even mention White Tiger. He's an afterthought.
White Tiger is small cookies.
Yeah, it was also brought up that White Tiger's starting to pick up because Daredevil's been gone for a year. So that might be part of it.
Also, medallion helps.
Also,
He
while
was-
I don't know much about White Tiger, I think he got the medallion in like some far off country.
Oh,
Don't
well,
quote me on
that's
that.
what happened. No, that's what happens. 1975, 1988. White man go into the jungle, come out with some
Bro,
superpowers.
yeah.
That's the thing.
I read the first issue of Moon Knight, and it was almost exactly that.
It's on your own clip.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
The Phantom, one of
White
the first
guy
comic
goes
book,
to Egypt. Yeah. Oh God, the Phantom.
one of the first comic
Jesus.
books ever. Not only does
Man.
he go into the jungle and come back with powers, but it's a generation forever going to have these powers.
Dude, it's been a minute since I've seen that movie.
From brown people. Yeah.
I wonder if I should watch that movie and or if there's a place where I can easily find out if I should rewatch it.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's a good-
you
that's a
know
good
what?
question.
That is going to be a
Well, they never
future
know.
does it hold up episode. You can bet. All we need is for Billy Zane to put out a motherfucking movie, be relevant. Like,
Just come hang out, man.
Yeah.
give us a reason to do it, so we don't torture ourselves on purpose. Go ahead, Alice.
But White Tiger, you know, he's been arrested for killing a police officer. You know, he tries to intervene on these two roughs trying to beat up this kid in a subway, and he accidentally kills one of them. And while Matt
should've killed
Murdock,
both of them.
Even kill him. The guy
He didn't.
literally trips.
well, yeah, he dies.
He
I think it's
jumped
just-
at him and fell into, as he should have, the front of a subway train.
The guy
Don't be jumping at people.
the cop danger prone Daphne his way out of existence.
Dead ass, man. Look, don't ever chase people or jump at people while you're waiting on a train track. Something bad could happen, and it might not just be to them. It might be.
But then
I've
as Matt
never
Murdock is-
needed a drop more than I needed that. The more you mention.
as Matt Murdock is trying to track down the guy that Marco was trying to save,
The witness?
the witness of the crime. That's terrible. Whatever accent that
Just
was.
don't
he-
do it again. Just
uh,
keep going.
We'll say
he
Austrian.
hears
and
that-
move on.
He hears that two police officers are on their way to kill this witness, and he has the
Or
witness
murder.
duck out of the window as he confronts the cops, and it does not end
Second
well.
time we've seen this character, and he running both times.
yeah.
He
It
commits
doesn't-
to a bit.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
He's consistent.
He must be a friend of the show.
He's consistent with nothing else. But yeah, it does not end very well for the cops.
And-
What did
but-
you guys think of this last scene of this episode?
So good.
Go ahead, Jeff. Yeah.
So fucking good. One, again, we get a fight scene that is everything I wanted. This is why I fell in love with the Netflix Daredevil. There's no CGI. This is just straight up, hey, let's do it. And it wasn't even long. What, maybe 25, 30 seconds?
Yeah,
But
it was very short.
Fucking amazing. But most importantly was the spoiler, the reveal we got. The reason the cops are running around acting like this, they got their little fucking Punisher tattoos, which is a huge, huge part of the comic. One, it's how we know we're going to see Frank again this season. But two, it's also a big part of the comics. It's one of my favorite parts. There's a scene in there's one of the issues where, you know, Frank's walking down the fucking street as a free man in New York, because why not? And he sees two cops standing next to their cop car, and they've got a fucking Punisher sticker on that. And he goes, "What the hell's this?" And they're like, "Oh man, we're right there with you. It's you and us. We're the same." And he goes, "Are you out of your fucking mind? I'm a criminal. You shouldn't have anything like that. I am not what you should be aspiring to be. And if you are aspiring to be like me, guess what? Then I'm going to have to come after you." There's already a guy that you can look up to. He wears a big he's got a big shield with a star on it. And it's one of my favorite fucking ones because Punisher knows who he is, and he is not a cop, and he is not supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah, I always respected that about Punisher as a character. The fact that he like has so much admiration for someone who's so different from him, like Steve Rogers.
Spider-Man. He loves Spider-Man too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He calls Spider-Man
it's his little buddy.
He only kind of killed him in the Ultimate Universe.
Semantics.
Oops.
Mostly dead.
Mostly dead. It's comic book, so he's not dead. So he's like, I'll
no,
just
that
kill
one
you.
is because that's the universe where we got Miles.
Wait, I thought that. Well, yeah, actually, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But I did like this scene as well. Like it was like really like emotionally jarring. Like it was just like I don't know, just like everything was sort of bubbling to the surface because you see how Matt has made this life for himself outside of Daredevil for like 1.5 episodes, and
oh my god,
we
I did not
see just to like sort of like push to the very edge, like he basically waits till he's about to get shot in the head before he decides to flip that switch and become Daredevil again.
Sounds like you're about to...
guys, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. Trust me.
Sounds like you're leading us into a Linkin Park song.
I mean,
you said
Bill,
several things.
In Alex's defense, it does start with one thing.
That's what I'm saying. Hey,
in the end, it doesn't even matter. But
it don't matter.
None
of this matters.
But yeah, like, what did you think of this last fight scene, Bill?
Me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
you're the only other one here who saw it.
I didn't watch it. No, I'm joking. Would that be amazing? We just slowly get to less people who have seen it.
In the end, Alex hasn't even seen it. He's just reading off the Wikipedia.
Like, you know what? Why don't we just move on? No, I thought it was great. Yeah, obviously it was amazing. Did he kill them? Because
yeah, those were some.
It doesn't know. I mean, I don't think so because just it's Matt / Daredevil. But man, when he slams that guy's face into the fridge, there's a streak of blood.
And there's a big crack when he throws that last dude straight on his neck onto the fucking nylon floor. I was like, did he just kill peoples? Because if he just killed peoples, then he is now kills peoples. But if he didn't kill him, then they're gonna be like, the fucking lawyer beat the hell out of us. I guess they could always be like looking at them like they're crazy because it's like, how are you going? So the blind guy whooped your ass.
Yeah,
that's my thing. I don't think those cops are going to be like, we just got our butts kicked by a blind guy, and we need to go arrest him.
We know what they're going to say.
Yeah. I got beat by like 6 really tall black guys.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He's gonna say, I got beat up by 6 niggas.
It was White Tiger. He's currently in jail.
Just like real quick before we move on to our next topic, I do want to, since Fifth Bantha said, I do have a clip of this fight scene. Let me just go ahead and play this real quick.
Thank you. Oh, our nips just touched. Mine are so hard.
Mine are different sizes.
Look,
so that was
don't send all your hate mail to the Drunk Banthas channel at gmail.com.
I'm gonna pay for a PO box just for Alex.
You can see the brutality in the fight scenes, like how they brought back
Jeff.
They brought back the fight choreographer from
Jeff.
Netflix.
I'm thinking we're gonna have to create that PO box.
You can see how it relates
because it's
to,
ridiculous at
like,
this point.
And
when I get the PO box going, when I get
one last
show. Everybody do send something except the stalker. Like, I don't want the stalker sending nothing to the PO box. So just look.
But anyway,
one last thing I will say about this episode. So the Man of Steel movie, I liked it. I loved Cavill as Superman, but I don't know why. After he snaps Zod's neck and then he's just like, I was like, that feels fucking stupid. But for some reason, after he just beats the fuck out of 2 cops and then Charlie screams, I'm like, that I bought. That felt real.
That made sense. Yeah, and I think it's because like they built up that emotional tension so much where he's trying so hard to battle against his his own nature.
But that's because he thinks he thinks that Fisk is doing that as well. But Fisk, as we keep seeing subtly, he has he's got scars and all on his knuckles, and so he's like clearly beating the shit out of somebody in his or out of something in his spare time when we, what we're not seeing of him. So I think there's a point of where both of these characters are like about to just fucking blow, but one of them is getting his rocks off somewhere without nobody being able to hear or see, because Kingpin has been whooping somebody's ass. His knuckles was looking fucking crazy, son.
Yeah. Like I'm interested to see
I'm
how.
ready to.
I'm interested to see how like everything's gonna turn out with Kingpin, because one of the cooler things about this show the whole time is how it mirrors Matt and Vincent D'Onofrio. I can't think of his name.
BD
Kingpin.
BD.
Like how Wilson Fisk.
KP BD VD CD Wilson.
Like how they
WF. That's not a good name.
Not great. But the way that they mirror each other is always like really interesting.
Go ahead. Keep talking.
The way that they mirror each other is always really interesting. So being able to see that just like develop throughout this season, I think is gonna be like it's gonna be a main theme of this season. Like it's always been a theme of those two characters. I'm excited to see how we see Fisk be just like more nefarious. Like he's definitely doing something evil behind the scenes. But guys, let us know in the comments what you thought of this episode. 9, do you have any like final thoughts? Like we kind of spoiled this episode for you.
We didn't spoil most of it.
No. Well, I got.
I mean, I guess if he dies in the first 15 minutes, is not much of a spoiler, but damn.
Well, he doesn't die. Is that a spoiler too? Damn.
Yeah.
I already mentioned the zombie thing. Come on.
Yeah, you did mention the zombie thing.
Put his head back on. They duct tape it shut. It's fine.
Yeah, it's cool.
But
Were
yeah,
you a big fan of Foggy?
Into like who was still on the same show from the old show, and it's like it really just seems nothing but the actors. Because I was looking at the cinematography list. Yeah, it's completely different people.
Yeah, like they brought back some people. Like they brought back the fight choreographer, and somebody else in the writing staff. But yeah, it definitely feels like a different.
No
show,
black people,
but I don't know. Like it's not
out of there.
It's because they brought that white tiger guy in.
I never get over the fact that the only time Iron Fist was good was when he made his guest appearance on Luke Cage.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying.
Crazy.
Check out our
did they have two different fight coordinators for those shows?
No, don't be disrespectful. First of all, the fight coordinator is our friend Ben Chan.
What's up, Ben?
He's great.
For Iron Fist?
He did Iron Fist, and he explained to us why things were so bad on Iron Fist, and you can check that out on the Drunk Banthas channel. We have the interview where we did it, and it was fucking dope.
Flower Night.
Go check it out. But just know it had nothing to do with fight choreography. That was not the issue.
I will say, like one thing that I got from Defenders, which I did not like that show. There's some good moments in there, and one of like two good moments. One like light bulb moments that I had there was like, oh, we should have had a TV show with Daredevil and Jessica Jones. Them working together is the best. Like the only thing that feels like a show on that show. And we should have just had a Heroes for Hire show. Why didn't we just have
Cage?
That should have been just what it was.
It would have balanced out how terrible dude was at Iron Fist. Iron Fist, because he wasn't good as Iron Fist either. And I'm not gonna be just saying your name out here, dog, because I ain't just gonna hate.
In the comics, Danny's a bit of a space cadet, and it's like I get you're trying to be like loyal to the.
Oh yeah.
The entire point is these are darker series.
Well, I liked what they did with that. I just didn't like anything he did, really. So it was different. And the brother was weird too. The brother that was
all the women in that show were fantastic, though.
No,
I like the sister. And I like the brother as an actor, but his character was just like
give him that.
all over the show.
Women killed it in that show. He was just terrible.
But guys, let us know.
That was a bad show.
Let us, yeah, it was definitely a bad show. Didn't watch the second season, but guys, let us know what you thought in the comments about Daredevil Born Again. Are you excited about this series? And were you fans of the Netflix show? I'm sure all of you guys are going to be blowing up the comments about how you felt about
the
series.
Sorry.
But
I was still thinking about Iron Fist. I'm sorry. I was.
Oh, you're having PTSD flashbacks.
Vanessa.
But guys, we should move on to our last topic of the night.
We still gotta work.
We still gotta work. We got one more thing to talk about tonight. That's right. It is the season 4 premiere of the HBO Max series, The Righteous Gemstones, created by Danny McBride. We all love Danny McBride. And this episode, Prelude, was also directed by Danny McBride.
Go outside, nerd.
Yeah, obviously, we love Righteous Gemstones here.
But this episode was wildly different and wildly like experimental as far as what Jody and Danny have done so far with this show. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This episode was borderline like Emmy worthy, but also borderline like this could have been the beginning of a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this was a really, really well done episode. So much to the point where usually, let's just be honest. We've been covering the Righteous Gemstones for the last like 3-4 years. Mainly just because we like talking about it. Not because there's anything really to break down. There's nothing here really to break down normally. It's just like, man, remember that shit that he said?
That was
shit
funny.
was funny. You know what I'm saying? But man, they really gave us a lot of meat on the bone than this one. So I'm hyped to talk about this.
Yeah, same. I'm curious. Any of our other pundits tonight? Have you guys watched the Righteous Gemstones episode?
Didn't even know it was back on, to be honest.
That's one for one nay for 9. Jeff, you?
Oh yeah, totally. Didn't watch it.
Producer T, what about thee? Did you watch this episode?
Yes, I actually did. I watched it right before.
Well, then, I'm going to leave y'all to talk about it. See you guys next week.
Hold on. Before you leave,
yeah.
Jeff, let the people know where they can find you.
Well, thank you for asking. Take a little break in the middle of the show. You can find me. You can try and Skype me, Don Cheeto's Driveway at littledicky2.com. It's
because of the hackers.
You can try and find Jeff Madel on Facebook at Madel Jeff on Instagram. But as always, the easiest place is just be here on Monday nights.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Put it in your mouth.
Later, all.
Have a good
See
night,
you, bro.
Sir.
Thank you. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
9, do you want to stick around and hear us talk about Righteous Gemstones, or are you out of here as well?
I'll stick around.
Okay.
Why not? Get educated on some
Hang
shit.
out. Have some
Learn
fun.
something about the Lord.
First, I just want to give a quick, I guess I'm going to steal this from Company Man, but just want to give a 9-second applause to Producer T. That's the fun
that
thing.
nigga didn't even have an applause button until right after we had our applause. I swear to God, my nigga.
I mean, that's true.
And then I asked him to come on the show. Nigga.
But yeah, no, Producer T, thanks for watching the show tonight. What were your initial thoughts on this episode of Gemstones?
Truly, thank you for
Are
watching.
you a
the show.
fan of Righteous Gemstones? Was this your first episode?
No, he's an Uncle Baby Billy fan.
Yeah, I'm all Baby Billy all day. Baby Billy's Baba Bumpus.
Yeah.
You know, I'm all about that. You
Come
know,
on now.
The Wally goggles. Wally Gogg's goggles and Baby Billy
Wally
Baby Bumper.
Gogg's goggles.
Because we were doing both of them together. Remember, because Invincible and
He was doing
kinda-
that with us last.
sometimes they
That's
overlap
right.
with each other. And we call them Cecil Baby Billy, Uncle Baby Cecil.
Yeah, Uncle Baby Cecil, Cecil Baby Billy. Yeah, we was doing that.
We was doing that.
I
So,
forget.
yeah, I'm
Like,
a big fan. Yeah, very experimental.
Episode
very
210,
different.
everybody.
I was really, I don't know. It's interesting. It's still a good story, but it's not really what I was looking for. And of course, that the founding gemstone was on the side of the Confederates was just, oh man, did he have to be? So, it's
But was
good,
he?
But it's not
like-
what I wanted.
It's like, was he on the side of the
No, I
the
mean,
Confederacy? He just ended up. He kind of got drafted. Like either these people find out that I killed this preacher, or I'm a preacher for the Confederacy.
Yeah, I definitely really like this episode, and it seemed like on the one hand, it seemed like an outlier episode where it doesn't follow any of the episodes that or any of the characters that we know. It definitely seemed just right up the alley for Jody Hill and Danny McBride. To
But
just make this
on
fucking
the
crazy
other hand,
but on the other hand, I thought it was like really well done. More dramatic than I would have expected, but still
very gory,
still really, really funny. It's really gory, and
Super
yeah,
gory.
like throughout this whole episode, I was like, "Is this Jody or is this Danny? Like, which one of them directed?"
it's both
this
of them
episode?
saying that they could get. This is what we can do other things. To me, that's what. Whenever you see a director tandem, producer tandem do something like this, it's them trying to say, "Look, our staff, we can do whatever we want. We can do any genre, and we do it all the way out here in the sticks here in South Carolina." And yeah, it may seem weird, but we're gonna put out some
this
good
episode
shit.
was not that funny.
Not at
It
all.
was
It had
I
jokes,
guess
but it was not trying to be funny.
it
at all.
wasn't. To me, what's his name?
Bradley
Cooper.
Cooper.
It was very. It had a
Let me
very
tell you
serious
something.
tone.
Bradley fucking Cooper.
Let me tell you something. That I feel like there were certain, because I watched this episode twice. There were certain scenes where they were like, this is the funny part, but it's like, if you're laughing at this part, you're probably pretty fucked up. And I was laughing a lot. So I laughed almost through the whole fucking episode.
It's a hilarious episode, but also just like,
But
mired
there's
in
not
tragedy.
a lot of
Yeah.
jokes. There's a lot of moments.
There's
that-
a lot of dark humor, but it's not like the traditional jokes and just like slapstick and salt humor that they've done throughout all the seasons. So I kind of agree I shouldn't say kind of agree. I fully agree when you say when two people are doing a tandem director, it's like, look what we can do. And it felt like it was like, look what we can do. We can make something that's funny, but very serious with a dark tone. And because like the whole episode, it's like, you see the character transforming, being like, maybe I am called to a higher power. Maybe there is something more out there for me. I'm like literally facing death day after day after day. And you're like, well, he's a killer. That shouldn't really bother him too much. He kills people.
Yeah, but
after
war is different.
Seeing it, yeah, war is definitely different.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just feel like this character is very, like, the whole time I was watching it, the second time I was trying to put the connections to what are the connections emotionally and like just like the way he acts and performs in comparison to the gemstones that we know. Like, there's got to be a little bit of some of them in him, a little bit of all of them in him. And one thing that I did catch was where there's a scene where the captain comes over to Bradley Cooper's character and he's like, what's his name? Elijah Gemstone?
Yeah, Elijah.
Which is crazy, like Eli, Elijah.
Yeah.
But anyway, he like captain walks over to him when he's throwing up in a fucking bucket, talking about he ain't drunk. He's just got a little cold or some
Yeah.
shit. When he comes over to him, he's like asking him about the way he lives his life. Man, I don't know, the preacher, blah, blah, blah. He's like, tells him to go to hell. Or he basically says, you're gonna go to hell, which is basically telling him, go to hell.
Yeah. But he
And
takes it very literally.
dude got very serious and very upset. And he was like, it's okay, just stop. Just go away. Just stop it. That was a very Danny McBride,
yeah, for sure.
Gemstone type of attitude. Judy
Yeah.
McBride, Judy Gemstone type of performance. And you know, if I feel like if I watch it again just for that, I might pick up some other character traits. But I think that that's what we're building towards.
Yeah.
Question is, do you think we're ever going to see any of this again, or has this just built us up to, you know, go into the rest of the series and we're never going to see any of this again? Or do you think it somehow will be a part of this series? Because that's really the important part.
I would love it if we get like maybe 2 more episodes of this flashback.
Just this?
Yeah, like honestly, just like this flashback. Yeah, I would love it. Like, give me more of this. I love Bradley Cooper in this. But just to like set
no, go ahead. I'm not mad.
Just set it up a little bit. This episode is in Virginia, 1862, where Minister Abel Greaves delivers a sermon in his church condemning the current war in the country, as well as the perceived northern aggression. After everyone leaves, a man, Bradley Cooper, is revealed to have slept in the church, mocking Greaves for using the donations for personal gain. Suddenly, the man pulls a pistol and kills Greaves. He robs money and the priest's gold-plated Bible.
Now, man, that's just crazy, man. Sorry, 1862, man, Civil War, man. It's just crazy because, like, think about how much bourbon got, like, just wasted. These motherfuckers out here shooting, killing, motherfuckers trying to bring their bourbon up. Pop, 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 pop. Just shot up, bourbon everywhere. Everybody
a lot of dead bootleggers out on the these country roads.
Man, it's just sad to see it. Well, they're not bootleggers at the time. It just working.
Yeah,
it's just working, man.
Just normal workers.
Y'all don't know, man. That's what ran the South, man. Fucking bourbon, man.
But yeah, it
is sad story. I don't know. Maybe I just appreciate bourbon. Maybe I just appreciate American commodities. You know, truly American commodities. I'm a patriot.
I did love this character of Elijah Gemstone because he does like the one through line I see through all the Gemstones is that he's a son of a bitch, and that's just what
all
is.
That's
just the way it is with all
Eli was whooping niggas' asses for a living when he was that age.
Yeah, before he decided he was gonna turn a new leaf, like Elijah does in this episode. Eventually,
Elijah, like his first friends call him Elijah.
He was a son of a bitch, and this character is a son of a bitch. And I really like the way that Bradley Cooper plays this character. He's a murderer immediately. We know that
murderer.
But
the way he pulls up on you, he's a murderer.
A murderer. Producer T, like, what did you think of just like about how like he just sort of he just kind of like falls into this fortune, like he gets a day job and a whole lot of money and a gold-plated Bible.
She made it sound
a whole new
work at McDonald's. Go ahead, Terry.
What did you think about just like and just like this arrival into the Civil War?
Yeah, I guess it was just like lucky fate for him. He just kind of fell into it. But I wonder how he's gonna get back to his name of Gemstone. Like how, like like when you were saying like two more episodes of this, I wish you would just skip this. But honestly, if you're gonna do this first episode, you gotta like give me like 1 or 2 more or something. Like you can't just leave on a cliffhanger. I have to see what else happens. Like this can't be the end of it, right?
Yeah, it didn't seem too finite. Like it seems like there's more story
like
to be
it's
told.
going to continue on a little bit more.
Which is why I think it might just be the end of it. Remember the season 2?
And that, you know what it could be? It could be something that keeps getting sprinkled in throughout the season.
Oh,
Yeah, you remember
I
in
will go back
season?
to it.
Was it season 2? I think it was season 2. Remember season 2? The author went out there to live so he could write his book.
Oh yeah.
And then like
That was
he
just like the very first
accidentally
episode, yeah.
got killed, but then you never heard anything about it again. And then the last episode is when they finally touched on it again.
Yeah.
So I think this might be one of those situations where we just get blown away with such a great episode, which that episode was. Dude dying the way he did was wild. And the fact that they thought of some crazy shit. Remember the motherfucker exploded and went into the goddamn tree?
Yeah.
Like the fact that they thought of some shit like that. And then when you show up and you just see that shit, you're like, what the fuck just
What
happened?
happened here?
So I like the idea that, you know, we're going to get left on a cliffhanger, but I'm not mad at, you know, I didn't think about that till you just said it. And I'm not mad at either one of you for saying like, hey, let's go with 2 more episodes of this. Maybe one more at least.
Yeah, I would like to see a little bit more of this. And you know,
Son of a bitch. Y'all made me change my mind. I don't do that.
And you know, like after he kills this pastor, you know, like we mentioned, he gets enlisted into the Civil War as a chaplain under the guise of
the Lord
Pastor
Jesus
Greaves.
Christ. I mean, Pastor Greaves.
Pastor Greaves. He's given up the name of Gemstone, and we see that he's a piss poor pastor.
Ooh,
but you know, he's out here getting drunk,
so
gambling,
disrespectful,
making money, pretty much having the time of his life. But also, you know, you can see the emotional weight is having on him, like having to minister to these dying young men. You know, we see progressively how it starts to affect him a little bit more. But initially, it's pretty funny how callous he is to the whole thing. Producer T, what did you think about just like his being a chaplain, and like the funny moments, the sad moments? What did you think about all that?
I always thought it was kind of funny, like when that one dude was like, "Can you pray with me?" And he's like, well, you know, I can pray with you, or you know, I can just pray for you later." Just pray for the fucking dude. Just he's dead dying. Come on, I can pray for you later. Or like when he's just giving his sermon, is like, "Yo, I don't want to like keep you out here for Sunday morning or nothing. It feels like I've been up for an hour, bro. It's been 5 minutes."
He's like, "Shit, I feel like I've been out here for an hour."
You know, amen. God is not cruel, you know, and we're after him, but we're not like him. So, you know, it's life.
Let's check these comments out real quick before it gets irrelevant.
Film Age says, "I liked it, but a bit too sympathetic to the South, and I feel the Gemstone came from the racist South, but they came from a crook." Now, I will say about that,
we're at 101. We're at 100. We're at 101 viewers on all platforms. Thanks to everybody who's watching.
Thanks, everybody.
Let's keep it going. Let's get it to 120. Go ahead and retweet and like and all that stuff. Alex, go ahead. What you're saying?
No, what I was just gonna say is that, like, I think that this is a person without any sort of belief or like sort of like, I don't know. He doesn't have any morals or anything like that. I don't think he's committed to the Confederacy or the North. Yeah. He's or like, you know, Christianity. He's just a swindler. He felt very strongly about killing this man. I don't know why. Maybe we'll get some backstory on that in the next few episodes. But like, I like the fact that he just has no purpose at all until the end of this episode, and that's when he feels like he needs to actually commit himself.
Yeah, don't let your PTSD from the South allow to cloud your judgment on how they portrayed these characters or portrayed the South. I mean, basically, in my opinion, the way they portrayed this is just like, hey, there's people who are here, who are in war, who want to be in war. They just want to fight. That's what they want to do. And then there's people who are just here. And then there's, you know, crooks and thieves. And that was more so the case. You know, people think, oh, they just sent my daughter. They just sent my sons and my grandsons and my husbands all out to die. And that's how it went down. It's like, nah. there was a lot of really fucked up people in America at the time, all over the world.
Oh yeah,
all over the world. Okay, if there was any humans in outer space, they're terrible fucking people.
They're probably some fucked up people.
They're all of them just fucking bad. Okay, so I'm just saying that to say, I don't feel like it was depicting anything in a positive light or a negative light. I think that their point was to try to put this character in such a negative light so that then when we get to the end, we see that, you know, he is going to turn his life towards the Lord Jesus Christ. But he, at the same time, he's a terrible person. So he's going to try to make money off of this. He's going to try to take advantage of this. But he is also just, you know, saved by the Lord Jesus Christ. He feels the need to talk about God and preach it into people's lives, but at the same time, he's looking at it like, yeah, God gave me the ability to get this bread off y'all. You know what I'm saying? And there was several moments where they made him seem like he was like, damn, these niggas listening to me. Like, you know, like he was kind of shocked, like, damn, it's wild. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I think he was definitely entranced by the power of just like that suggestion. Like, you know, we see that explored in like a really funny way with that colonel or whatever, where he's like, hey, could you tell God, like, if you're talking to him, like, I didn't really mean nothing by it. Like,
yeah, Captain, your southern accent was way better than his. Yeah, no, Fifth Band said so. Maybe it's an audition for their next gig since it was the last season. Since this is the last season, talking about Danny and Jody. Filmmate says
after hearing about the Russo brothers' recent movie that they directed, I'm down for firing them and having Jody Hill and Danny McBride direct Avengers
any day.
Let's do it.
Let's
get that going.
Filmmate says, yeah, the family that owned the Golden Bible that Cooper Gemstones stole. Maybe that comes back up. Maybe that comes back up to bite him in the booty.
Wait, who's Cooper? Who's Cooper Gemstone?
No, he's Bradley Cooper, nigga.
Oh,
come on, man. Cooper, you know we make up names on this show. You know the fans make up.
Like,
better.
Wait, I don't know the family tree like that.
You know,
Which
man,
one was Cooper?
Subscribers are gonna make way better names than we do.
No, that's great. I love Cooper Gemstone.
Ooh, look, I got the Bible in the shot there.
Oh yeah, there it is. The gold.
I put it in there because
that's got to be one of those things that's been in the background of the show before, right? That we just never noticed. Is that that kind of show? If it was Severance, it would definitely be in the background already.
I hope not. I hope not, because look, Don, you're getting good at it, man. Look at that.
It took me like 20 seconds to
figure it out. That's what being good at it is. Nobody notices that it took you forever to figure it out. That's what makes it being good at.
Yeah. So yeah,
it took
like
us a long time to figure that out. We stayed on the internet for like 30 minutes.
Elijah does meet somebody from his past, this guy named Ned, who offers to like he knows who he is. He calls him out by name, but then he gives
his last name, his whole name.
Yeah, his whole damn name, his Christian name.
Jesus.
But
Lord Jesus.
He offers him a proposal. They should hoodwink or hornswoggle this major who has a whole lot of boot money out of at a car game. And you know, honestly, during this car game, I thought that Ned was gonna blow it. Producer T, did you have any vibes there? Like,
buy me a drink first.
Blower, I hardly knew her. Producer T, I thought that this was gonna like kind of go sideways, and like Ned was like, I felt like something was gonna go wrong. Did you feel any sort of tension during that poker game?
Yeah, I thought something was definitely gonna go wrong, and it was not gonna be. We're just seeing that Cooper Gemstone is just a cold-blooded killer who leaves no trace. Yeah, so I thought something was gonna go bad for him, but I guess it was just proving to you that Cooper Gemstone's a killer.
You know, y'all were
Yeah.
y'all just felt it. Y'all felt it. Y'all were right. You just put your focus on the wrong person. Something went bad.
Just
Went
like
bad for the
poker
wrong
hand.
nigga. It went bad for Eddie. What was his name?
Ned.
Nettie, Nettie, dead Nettie now.
Dead Nettie.
Cause look, man, let me tell you something. Tell y'all a secret. Motherfucker, you run up on a nigga who you know basically like a con man. The motherfucker don't play fair. He an asshole. Last time you seen him, he was robbing some niggas. Like, that's the nigga you want to run up and steal from. Like, let me tell you something, man. You want, because he was kind of like blackmail. He basically blackmailed. Like, I know who you are.
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you something. Don't blackmail no nigga who you know is a motherfucking killer. I shouldn't have to say that, but
yeah.
it's like the on the lawnmower, it says, "Do not put your hand underneath the lawnmower while it's on." It says that because there's a nigga out here doing it. Shout out to Terry.
Yeah, it's like this guy knows.
Remember Terry did that shit?
Oh, what the?
Terry put his hand underneath the thing and it sliced off his four of his feet.
Alabama. Yeah.
Shit, nigga.
Jesus.
I wasn't gonna tell everybody where he was from. Nigga, you just trying to give up.
That narrows it down too much.
It does. Just look for a nigga with 3 fingers. No, I'm joking. They sold him back on.
But yeah, it was crazy episode. Then later on, you know, he's still doing his hood rat shit, being a really bad pastor. But at some point, he does get ambushed, or like his whole camp gets ambushed by some Northerners.
He's also playing. They do a little thing where they show he's playing cards with a lot of people and beating all their asses.
Yeah,
and he has accumulated a lot of money. Just, I guess back then they didn't put it in folded or nothing. This nigga was just throwing wads of money in a fucking box.
So I'll count it later.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. It was funny. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna he got
Terry.
ambushed by these Northerners, and he gets captured, and they end up executing everyone except for him. Producer T, what did you think about like this? Man, this is like a really emotional scene, sort of the emotional climax of the episode. What did you think about everything that just kind of went down with?
Well, this was the predictable one where you knew something was bad about to happen, and you knew exactly who it was going to happen to. You
didn't see that coming?
Telegraph. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not scared of nothing. You know, they're not going to get me. He's blowing out my face. He's protecting my head. I was just like, you're about to get shot in the fucking head. I know it. Blown the fuck off, and like any second now, just waiting for it. I was like, they're about to get, it's coming. You have set it up.
I loved that.
To you cast the spell of kill me now in this film or TV show.
Yeah.
The correct chant.
You know,
there's a scene in Black Dynamite where they make fun of that trope where people, it's a thing that happens in Hollywood for y'all who don't know, because everybody don't realize those types of things or care about those types of things. But yeah, the character walking around talking about if a character in anything is walking around talking about what they gonna do after this,
making plans,
they are
Yeah.
dead, especially if we're in a war movie or a battle scene. Oh, that nigga dead. I think they even did it in Shogun. Like walking around the forest talking about what you gonna do next, nigga. You gonna be dead next. That's what you gonna do next. You gonna be buried. You're gonna be looking for doing audition somewhere, nigga, because your ass is gonna be dead on this show.
We didn't talk about it, but same thing with Rex. He was like, I'll be right back. I swear, you know, I'm feeling so good and I changed so much. And you know what? I'll be right back.
No,
We
what?
did not
No.
talk about that,
No,
but yes.
yeah, that's a good point. I was actually going to mention that we forgot to mention on our that's like we got to talk about that for just a second because
Dude, I got
Rex.
so drunk the other day with 9. I was just hitting all these buttons. We were just hitting all the drops. Go check that episode out.
We're going back to Invincible for 2 minutes because we do have to talk about
You're on a timer.
Rex's death. Like 9, since you've been out of the convo for a little bit, like,
well, that's the whole reason why the episode was really weird to me. It's just like we're not even getting like I don't even think he's really dead. I don't know if he's really dead or not.
Really,
comics or whatever. Just because the moment just felt so
manufactured,
exactly, and how they telegraphed it.
To kill him sooner.
No, this is about
the time, right?
The same time where he died, but I like all the stuff with him falling in love with Ray and trying to basically redeem,
be a better person.
Yeah, as a better person, and just like
he's just
the audience being able to see him as like, oh, I can see a future for this guy. Like he's turning himself around. He's got himself a good woman.
I don't know why they
episode, I was like, he's dead. He's out of here.
I know. I said it last week. I just said it amongst ourselves, not on here to spoil anything, but it's like, yeah, he's dead now. They're doing all of the things like what they did in this Gemstones episode to just be like, oh yeah, he gonna die. And it's like I know he's not. Last week I was like, I know he's not gonna die now, but he got to die next episode. Oh, he got to die next episode. He keeps saying all this shit.
I thought it was a cool way for him to go.
Are you kidding? I'll never stop living like this. Who am I without this? Like, wait a minute. Who are you, nigga? Why you got so many lines all of a sudden? Then he told his backstory, and I was like, wait a minute. We haven't heard his whole backstory yet. Wait a minute. Man, this nigga dying next week. Nigga don't get that many lines, and all of a sudden he got all the lines in an episode. No, man, no, it's over.
And then you got Billie Eilish playing in the background. I was like,
yeah,
I don't know what's going on here.
You got Billie Eilish.
I just thought the TV show was really like trying to sadden up his death because with adding the whole shrinking Ray thing to it, I was like, oh, because like I'd already read a little bit past the part. And I knew what was going to happen to him. And so when they started doing the shrinking race, I was like, oh, they're really trying to make what's about to happen to him even sadder, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So he's dead.
I feel like they were trying to like build up the
blew his bones up. He doesn't have the power to regen himself out.
I don't know. I just saw him shot in the head, fight off some people. So I was like, I don't know what's going on.
You can get shot in the head. I mean, you could get shot in a lot of places. Bullets don't really be killing you like that.
For a show like this, I was surprised that they didn't show like explicitly like how like his bones exploding. Also seeing the Mark variant explode because we don't really see that. Like maybe that didn't really even do anything. We saw him throw a lot of shit at him.
Nobody know that.
Right.
Yeah, but it
wouldn't be.
But it doesn't matter because that nigga is. If he didn't die, he's trapped in another universe.
That's a question. Is Darkwing dead?
That's a good question. See, that's a better question. Yeah, is Darkwing dead? Well, I have to assume he is. I'm have to assume nigga snapped the shit out of his neck.
Yeah, it would take.
But old buddy gonna die, right? Or he's gonna live forever inside the dark.
Yeah, but there's like
the globe are so ass
kind of things in there.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, he can't die. He's a Viltrumite, so he will just be living forever.
Unless those things kill him.
Entire life.
Like, because we know there's monsters strong enough to kill Viltrumites.
But not in the shadow realm.
Well, we don't know what's in the shadow realm. We just know that they got freaked out when they went to the shadow realm. They were like, you know what? This is not a good place.
One time to fight.
I want to die,
buddy.
Because fuck that.
But anyway.
You know, I don't know about that, Mark, but spoilers. Well, no, yeah, I'm not gonna talk about that. Yeah, let's get back to Righteous Gemstones.
Real powerful scene. He got to preaching. He started feeling Jesus, and then he like felt bad for all the people that just died. They got Gatland. I think it was about to. I was thinking that too. I was like, are they gonna like firing squad one at a time, or I was like, nah, they're probably gonna like Gatling gun. I'm like, remember Wild Wild West and that one dude who had the Gatling gun and was killing people? I was like,
Oh yeah,
that's how they did it back in the day.
the Wild Wild West.
Damn, Nine did it earlier. He with his hand. Make sure we get it back.
Yeah, like, and this was like you can see this
Penny
is a
girl.
pivotal moment for Elijah Gemstone. Like he gets ambushed by the Northern Army. They're gonna execute all of their prisoners except for the what was he called? The
clergyman.
The clergy.
Clergyman, yeah.
The clergy. Y'all call it clergy. We call it clergy.
Kill the clergy.
And I don't know if this was
Men
like
of the
honorable or just like sort of torturous, but the general is just like, nah, you got to go over there and do the final confessions to everybody and watch everybody die. But this
no,
seems to be like,
he said, well, don't you want to go over there and talk to your men? He said, no, I think it'd be kind of like a bad time. This is bad timing, you know, like seems like it's just
so funny.
Then he was
So,
like,
like his
he
little
said, well, I
like
think
that.
you oughta. He said, well, I think you oughta. And he's like,
He was like, all right.
Yeah, that sounds like you're gonna kill me if I don't. He said you don't kill clergy, but you sure do sound like you're not gonna let me not go over there.
You might at least whip my ass. I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like you might beat the hell out of me with a stick.
But this was like, another one of those moments where it's just like very combining that comedy and that tragedy. What did you guys think of this scene where he's giving his final prayer to these men, but they're also talking about it's like, so we're just gonna die? Like, this
Can you tell him I'm
moment.
your assistant clergy?
That was funny. The assistant chaplain.
Producer T, what did you think of this moment with Elijah?
It kind of reminds me of a famous Samuel L. Jackson quote when I think about them dying. It's yeah, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. I don't feel bad for the Southerners. Like, I get it.
I'm not gonna lie.
But no, I don't feel bad. It did not move me. I was really hoping he was not gonna like bury them or nothing. I thought at this point he was gonna join the North and go off with that guy, and that would be the rest of the story, but not him going back to like bury the people and be like, Jesus saved me. And I was like, oh, lame.
I think he had no choice but to go back where he went to, because it's just, you're a Southerner. Kind of basically, there's a civil war going all over the world, all over the country. It's like there's no good place to go. Might as well go back here and hopefully never have to go anywhere else ever again. Also, being a deserter at this time, so if you didn't die and you were found, like they would kill you back in the day. So it's you really couldn't.
Yeah,
you really kind of had to go back. Where if you were the only one who survived, because then they just call you a deserter. So, like the dude they killed him. He killed him. They said, well, he's a deserter. I mean, nobody said, man, maybe somebody killed him. Like nobody said, I heard somebody yelling and screaming. Somebody said, help!
No questions asked.
Sounded like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, looks like Eddie deserted. It's like, no, those things don't have anything to do with each other, baby. But they don't give a fuck back then.
Is this the last season?
This is going to be the last season.
Oh.
Jody and Danny don't like doing shit for long periods of time. This is this series has probably gone on one or two seasons longer than they wanted to.
Yes, it's 4 seasons, but it's like maybe 6 years. This show's been going on. It's kind of crazy.
Is it 6 years?
It's definitely more years than seasons.
Yeah, because they've been like taking breaks and breaks.
Yeah. Well, one season they didn't really take like a year break. I thought they just like they came right back the next year.
Yeah, but that's still like it's like four seasons, 2 years.
I feel like we've been doing the pod as long as we've been doing the podcast. They've been on, so I'd say 5 years.
Okay.
There's no way to find out.
Not now. I'm not doing that shit.
No, nobody's doing that. Who's gonna do that?
About 6 years. It's 2019.
But I do think that about
6 years.
I do think that this is a good moment for him because we know that the Gemstones are rooted in the South. Like, I still don't feel like he had any allegiance one way or the other when it comes to the war. He was just he was like, I can get $50 and some food, like, and I just killed this guy, and like I can get like a ticket out of here. Like that seemed like that was his main motivation.
It's like you were robbing a bank, nobody knew it, and then the police came up and they were like, "Hey, aren't you the bank manager? Well, we're just gonna go take you to run another bank."
Yeah.
It's like, oh
wow, that sounds great.
That sounds amazing.
Let me just get all this money I just stole.
I should take money from here to the other place. I'll be right back. It's just like you just fall into a great place in life.
But
because you're white.
Yes.
If a nigga was in there, if a nigga was in there,
that's the story of Catcher Freeman. But Producer T, what did you like? Did you think like this is a good opener for this episode? Was this disappointing that you didn't see any of the characters we know from the show?
Nice.
It's not a bad episode, but it's definitely not what I kind of wanted.
Ooh.
But it's different. It's cool, different. I'm not gonna like hate on it. I give it a B.
Okay. A B is not a bad
B for
letter.
Bradley Cooper.
B for Bradley.
What about you? Were you disappointed that we didn't get to see all of our favorites in this episode?
Rocket Raccoon. Sad I didn't see him. What's the other nigga that he played in A-Team? Sad I didn't see him.
Yeah. The character from Wedding Crashers when he beat the shit out of Owen Wilson.
Sad I didn't see him. Just sad. Like what happened to him.
Yeah.
I like this episode. I hope they do what, like y'all were saying, y'all are pretty creative. I hope that's an idea to continue this type of episode. But as far as how did I feel as far as when I realized it ain't gonna be there's nobody in it. When we get to the end of this episode, it may be a little disappointing to most, but I was melancholy. I was happy with what I saw to the point that I was like, it didn't matter that they weren't in it. Yeah. Like I almost forgot that they weren't in the whole thing. Mm-hmm. But then I thought, well, I did. That's why I was here. I am here.
Was Bradley Cooper going to be in the whole season, or is he just a one-off?
That is the question. Who knows? That is basically the question. Is like
that'd be the wildest shit if
they do shit
just Bradley Cooper.
But they do shit like that in the show where they'll just pick up and move from one thing. Like almost every episode is a red herring. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I have a theory. Okay. You don't have to hit the X-Files button for this. I have a theory though that everything that,
but I will. Sorry.
I have a theory that everything that Jody Hill and Danny McBride do is based under the mindset of what bipolar people are going through. Like every character that they with is bipolar. Mm. All the main characters. So like every gemstone in this show is bipolar. Every like the Foot Fist Way.
Oh yeah. Observe and Report,
Eastbound and Down. Just name any of their movies, name any of their characters. Pineapple Express with Danny McBride's character on Pineapple Express is fucking wild. But yeah, they got a lot of that's what they like to, I think, explore when it comes to how people deal with certain real life situations. Like, we're talking about very basic shit that gets blown out of proportion, and that's really what it is to deal with someone who is undiagnosed bipolar and or just fucking like some people are just like balls to the walls with it, and like the slightest slight can change their entire mood for weeks, months.
And you can definitely see that this character is really lost, and like that moment where he's giving that prayer, like to your point, he's having that sort of self-realization that, you know, there's so many levels of bad and good and the in-between with men. He's like, you guys, you know, y'all kill people in the name of your country, but, you know, there's definitely worse people than y'all. He's definitely, you know, obviously he's very much talking about himself because he just killed somebody for money. Or killed another person for money. So like it's interesting seeing like that transformation in himself, where he's just realizing, you know, there's so many levels to morality, and like the good and the bad
and the ugly, bitch.
So I really hope we see the character and like see again like him reclaiming the name of Gemstone and how he sort of
because he does eventually have to
empire.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's pretty simple. You don't even have to play that, show us that. I mean, you get out of the war, just a simple, you just walk on out. There ain't no birth certificates and goddamn social security cards. You just walk out and you go, yep, my name is Elijah Gemstones. And it's really your name. So like if somebody happened to come up and look up on the census, that's what they had as far as the shit goes back then. It was the census. Somebody happened to find you, you'd be like, yep, that's him
down somewhere. Yeah,
it's actually him.
Before we get out of here, are there any predictions casting wise of the first Lady Gemstone? We got a big name for Bradley Cooper. Producer T, do you have any guesses of who First Lady Gemstone could be a good pairing with Bradley Cooper?
Just so y'all know, we don't have any.
Just throwing out a random ass actress.
We don't have any idea. Yeah, we don't have any idea what's going to happen next.
Tilda Swinton. Oh my gosh, that would be fucking amazing. I would love to see.
Man, I don't know nobody's name. That's me. I don't give a fuck about these bitches' names. Hold
on. You know what? I would like to see like Rachel McAdams.
That's really
like,
that's
a good Wedding Crashers like reunion.
No,
you know,
cheater.
And she's just like she's.
I'm
like
gonna say Luke Wilson then, nigga.
Luke Wilson. So I just see Luke Wilson and like a dress and a wig for no reason. They don't explain it at all.
Elizabeth Moss.
Elizabeth Moss.
Okay, Owen Wilson.
Oh, that'd be a really good one.
Use Owen Wilson.
Natalie Portman. I think that'd be a good one too.
Natalie Portman. Okay. Timothy Chalamet then. I'll keep naming white. I'm gonna keep naming pretty white boys.
What's that? Okay. Yeah, Jack Quaid.
Jack
Quaid?
Yeah,
Baby Quaid.
Jack Quaid. Alicia Silverstone, nigga.
Guys, let us know in the comments who you think of the first Lady Gemstone is going to be.
Woman I can think of. It was really hard. A white lady.
Mine was Tilda Swinton, so like, I was rolling on my ass at that point.
Oh man,
oh my gosh, I would be so happy if it was Tilda Swinton.
My next one was Laura Dern.
Oh man, Laura Dern would be great. Laura Dern would be
nigga,
awesome.
I'm great at this. White women from the 90s, nigga, I'm good at that. That's all it was. Wasn't no black people on TV back then.
But guys, let us know in the comment who would be your favorite white woman from the 90s to be Stone.
I don't know why that's funny. Who'd be your favorite white woman? Get you a white woman. Dial 323-680-4101. 323-680-4101. Get you a white woman.
But Nite, where can the people find you on the interweb before we get on up out of here?
Thank you for asking, my dear boy. You can find me on 9Nerd Yards. That's on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Twitter. And we have a Discord server where we talk shit.
I don't be on there enough. I should be, but y'all know that I'm just at me like 100 times on Discord on the nerds that
I'm pretty sure Othelius does.
The 9 nerd yards. I need to turn my notifications on that shit. But yeah, y'all keep showing me the funny shit. Bug me all the time. Yeah, Terry, where can the people find you, sir, if they want to, stalk you?
Always on my, I gotta turn more this way. On the at T-Pens Co. So you can get you some badass pens that are made in China before my tariffs go up and I can't afford this shit no more.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
Jesus Christ. Go to the Indians.
Bad hood movie.
Go talk to the Indians.
Yeah, go up and go. Yeah, and then jump into the.
No, we don't get racist on this show. That's what we do on the Bantha Bunch show every Thursday at 8:15 p.m.
Yeah, if you're ready for that. Yeah, jump into the video description if you want to find links to our fantastic guests' social media. Bill, where can people find you on the interweb?
Oh, Alex. The people can always find me right here on this magnificent couch. We never talk about the couch. Well, like the couch is kind of like another character on our show. You know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna name it Couch.
Like Hell's Kitchen is the character in Daredevil. Yeah, it's just the environment.
I'm gonna name this couch Couch. You can find me right here with the couch, and this one right here, Penny P, our producer, and yeah, it's at 8:15 p.m. Pacific time. I already said that a lot, and yeah, we're talking about common side effects, and yeah, I don't want to say anything else, but we got some weird shit going on over there, so make sure you come and watch till the end, because woo shit. It's weird. If you're watching this to the end, you'll definitely see me on Thursday.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys so much for watching this long. It's definitely a longer episode, but we got a lot of shit to talk about today. We have a topic. Bye-bye, Penny P. You want to say anything? You have any words for the people?
No. There we go. High fives and all.
Guys, thank you so much for listening to the Drunk Banthas podcast. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific time. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you get updates on new videos. Check us out on Twitter, IG, TikTok, Letterboxd, likewise, all the internet things at the Drunk Banthas.
He's talking so much.
Until next time, stay safe, my little Viltrumites, and may the force be with you.
Go outside, nerd. Get out. Go. I ain't got time to be distracted by your worthless chime-ins. Go.